Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Ah, whose face is that? Whatever. Just want to minimize me again.
Alright, now everyone can hear me. I'm a sleepy dada, I tell ya.
Oh yeah, were you up all night again?
Oh yeah. It's a blurb. I think I got it. I'm gonna freestyle it. Soundboard check? Let's see.
I love Tesla.
Yep, still works.
I love Tesla.
Alright, this Spin Podcast Network production is brought to you by our patrons, whose continued support helps keep the lights on. So thank you, Ollie, Dutch, Leclerc, Vert, and as always, tons of mice. But it's not just me. It's him.
Hi.
He did it.
It's me too.
He
I did it.
smelt it and dealt it.
I did it. It was me.
Hello. Sorry, everyone. I wasn't here yesterday. I went to the zoo.
Why did you go to the zoo?
Because baby famine turned 2 on Saturday, and it was nice yesterday. We got up to like 70 degrees, so it was a nice breezy warm day to be out looking at all the critters, and it was great.
We get it. You have a family who loves you,
Yeah.
and you don't want to spend time with any of us. It's fine.
Just not yesterday. Not like straight up my wife was like, hey, you want to go to the zoo today? I was like, fuck yeah. And then it was like, Tim texted me like 11:30. He's like, where are you? I was like, oh my God. I'm like loading up the car already. I'm like, I can't get it. Nah. I'm just gonna have to be a bad person.
Didn't even invite me to the zoo.
Hey, we have a membership, so we can still drag in like hella people. And they do catering and events and stuff like that. I'm like, I wonder what the minimum number of people that I'd have to get to the zoo all at the same time.
Oh man,
for them
zoo
to
party
for them to close it down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Is it like 5K? Is it 10K? Because I'm pretty sure I could organize like some sort of con at the zoo.
ZooCon.
Yeah, and then we could just like not have to deal with annoying people.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite thing about like people in those like public spaces like the zoo or like a museum or something like that?
My least favorite thing about like people in like public places is if it's crowded. Like I'm not claustrophobic, but I'm also not great in like tight crowds. Like I don't
shoulder to shoulder action.
Yeah, I'm not about that. I don't like. I mean, you don't get a lot of that at museums, but I've been to the zoo a few times. It gets pretty busy at the zoo, especially on the weekends.
I mean, I was only there for one reason, and it's to see my buddy, the Okapi. They have 2, and they love me, and we have a deep spiritual connection. It's
Mikey,
great.
what do you like more, zoos or aquariums?
Zeus.
Zoos.
Yeah. No Okapis at the aquarium. Or hyenas. I like seeing the hyenas. Those are some of my other greats. We have at Brookfield Zoo, we have a pretty decent like dolphin enclosure and like seals and stuff like that. It's pretty okay.
We got. Well, there's not too many zoos. I know there's a zoo near me, but it's not like the best zoo. Like probably the Bronx Zoo is probably the best zoo near me. But it's quite a ways. But we have some nice aquariums in Connecticut. We got the Norwalk Aquarium and then the Mystic Aquarium, and the Mystic Aquarium has penguins, and they're very fun.
We want to go to the one in Atlanta.
Oh, I hear that's a good one.
They have a whale shark.
Yeah.
And the one in China, I want to go see that one too. I will just keep my mouth shut for the entire visit because I really want to see that aquarium. Just here to see the aquarium and get back on the plane, sir. Don't want no smoke. Please let me out. Please don't trap me.
Funny story. We had a.
Ooh, Sheldon says car shows instead.
Oh, there are a lot of car shows around me.
Yeah, we
a lot of car shows.
We have those every weekend during the summer.
There was a baby seal that showed up on like the streets of New Haven a couple of weeks ago during like it was like a coastal storm, so like the seal just sort of washed in with the storm. And it was just flopping about on the streets of New Haven, and the New Haven police showed up and was like, "What are we going to do with this seal? Like, what?"
Hey, take him to the club. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just fucking around.
Oh, that's messed up, bro. That's messed up. But they moved it to the Mystic Aquarium for a bit, so they could like Connecticut. So it could like so they could check it out, make sure it's okay and everything. And now it's just like hanging out, and they're gonna put it back into the sound in a couple of weeks.
You've heard of Neil the seal, right?
I think I have.
The elephant seal down in Australia.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Who's just down there doing his own thing. Pissing everybody off, falling asleep in the middle of the road. And he's like, 1,200 pounds. Just impossible to, like, if he wants to be somewhere, that's just where he is. It's great. Oh,
well,
that's Mikey,
great. Enough seal talk.
Yeah. We got real things to talk about.
What are we talking about today? What? And why is it Conor McGregor? That's what I want to know.
Like, things are bad when Conor McGregor is the headliner on the headliners. But it kind of goes towards a trend, and I'll let our lovely audience at home tie the shoestrings together here. And if you want to jump in the chat, by all means, hit that subscribe button, wait 60 seconds, and come on in. But just beware, the mods are ruthless, and I do not control them, but I did train all of them.
Yeah, the wrenches do not care what you think.
They will bash you with that wrench so quick. But here's Conor McGregor. Was he a UFC champion?
He was a UFC champion.
Yeah, and then he fought Mayweather and got embarrassed.
Yep.
That was great.
I think it's very funny the amount of people that have tried to come after Mayweather, and everyone who has like learned that like he's still fucking Floyd Mayweather.
His dad could still whoop most of America's ass at like 72.
Like if it was like if Jake Paul had chosen like Floyd Mayweather instead of Mike Tyson, it would have been a different boxing match.
Floyd don't give a shit. He don't care what that betting thing is. He gonna whoop your ass. He ain't losing to nobody. He ain't losing. It'll be a draw before he loses. Wow, this quality is terrible. There we go. Let's pump that up. There you go. Yeah, sorry, guys.
We need Conor McGregor in high def.
You will for this clip.
Big bro. The United States should look after its little bro. And that's how we feel.
How about the trade? What about, there's some trade disputes between the U.S. and the EU, and how do you think?
He's been kicked in the head several times, so everybody just kind of give him a second, let him process what's going on here. We don't want to rush him. Hey, Kay. And Sheldon, air horns.
Hey, we actually have some stuff that we
I will say, Conor is here to meet with the president. He'll be meeting with him later this afternoon. We couldn't think of a better guest to have with us on St. Patrick's Day. We're both wearing our green. This was not planned, but
hold on.
Very festive.
Pause this for a second. There are so many better Irish people that they could have chosen to have on St. Patrick's Day than fucking Conor McGregor.
He's not a racist, is he?
I,
He's not like a total douchebag when it comes to people that don't look like him, right?
oh, Mikey, I got some bad news for you.
And as you know, I'll be having a briefing later at 1 o'clock, so we'll talk more about their meeting.
I'm busy. I'm at the zoo.
Yeah, I don't.
I'll be at the zoo at that one.
I honestly couldn't be bothered with White House press briefings. I wish they went back to not having them.
I can't stomach her. Like, I tried to watch one of her press briefings probably like 3-4 days ago, and I was like, God, this is so annoying.
Yeah,
like, you're just so annoying.
She is literally the worst.
Literally.
He's going over to meet with some other administration officials. He's spending the day in Washington, D.C.
For sure.
So
I'm here to
it'll be
raise
fun.
the issues the people of Ireland face.
Oh yeah, the issues that Ireland faces. You know.
The only acceptable issue I'll take is the British.
Let's see if it comes up.
And it'll be music to the people of Ireland's ears. Because
Oh, it's music. Okay. Yeah.
Hey,
What
the Irish have some pretty good music.
I thought they had good music, but he said there's a problem with the music. All right, let's hear it.
never on the main stage has the
They can't even get on stage with the music. Damn.
issues the people of Ireland face been spoke. You know, our government has long since abandoned the voices of the people of Ireland.
Well, you got a choir or something? Is it the choir or the voices? The voices in the back?
Well, no, it's like a band called the Voices of
You
Ireland.
need a microphone. You need a mic check. You need an engineer. You need a producer. You need mustard. Mustard. They need a producer.
And it's high time that America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland?
Yeah, tell us. This is like that guy from a couple weeks ago. It's like, you know what, man? There are so many problems. Let me tell you about the problems. The first problem we have is, let me tell you about the problems. It's like,
Let
tell
me
us.
tell you about the problems. They're the problems of Ireland. Let me tell you.
They're first of all on the list of problems.
That America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is the government of zero action with zero accountability.
The Irish government?
Yeah, that's what I think. Unless he switched, but yeah, I think that's what he said.
The Irish government, where they have universal health care and all that good stuff. Let's hear him out, because like Ireland does have issues. Let's hear what the issues
utopia.
are. It's not a utopia. Like, they have issues like every other country does. Let's hear what they are.
You know, our money is being spent on overseas issues that has nothing to do with the Irish people.
I mean, so does everybody. I mean, that's we're a global kind of thing now.
We're it's 2025,
Right.
and we live on a planet with other people.
Well,
And some countries not as fortunate as other countries.
not Ireland's problem. Okay.
All
The
right.
illegal immigration racket is running ravage on the country.
Illegal-
There are rural towns.
Yeah.
All right. I've been trying to immigrate to Ireland
The right way.
the right way for a couple of. It's very hard. They're very strict. Ireland. I'm one of the good ones.
I mean, if only he could get a visa for, kicking Americans in the face, kicking Japanese people in the face, kicking, if only everybody could just get an entertainer's visa by just brutalizing others.
Right.
Mm.
No. Boy. All right. Yeah.
And maybe sell your fucking shit liquor in your own country.
Towns in Ireland that have been overrun in one swoop, that have become a minority in one swoop. So issues need to be addressed, and the 40 million Irish Americans, as I said, need to hear this, because if not, there will be no place to come home and visit. Ireland is at the cusp of, potentially losing its Irishness, and I'm here to raise the issue and highlight it. It's also St.
I gotta
Patrick's
look
Day,
this
so a
up.
little bit of celebrations for sure, and a little bit of learning and listening to Mr. President Trump, whose work ethic is inspiring. And
Oh, yeah,
all that does to
inspiring.
me is highlight the lack of work on my side. So that's it. That's what I'm here for.
Awesome.
Billy.
What's up, Billy?
It's not lost on me that all of the Joe Rogans and all of the incel Chad bots that are running around the internet right now. I was wondering when he would show up because UFC's been kind of having their thing, and then like he wants to be loud and in front of something.
Right.
He's like, I'm doing it for Ireland. I'm the Irish Joe Rogan. Like he's just like trying to like wedge himself into the main stage, as he said, so more voices are heard, as he said. Bro, you want attention. Okay? If you're upset about what's going on in the global south and the fact that they're fleeing the global south to come to a lot of Western nations, perhaps you should do like your government is doing and advocate for aid where the people are so that they don't have to come to where you are, because apparently them living next to you is the biggest crime that they could fucking commit. Heaven forbid people come in and live in the same country as you. I mean, what's next? They'll be speaking our language and sleeping with our women. Like, yeah, dog, that's kind of how it goes, man. Like it's always been that way.
So here is Ireland's immigration crisis, according to Conor McGregor. By the way, an immigration expert, Conor McGregor.
It's all the head kicks, man.
It's all the head kicks. As of April 2024, Ireland saw an estimated 150,000 immigrants come into their country. The highest in 17 years. That's the highest number in 17 years.
Most people in the ever, but okay.
And Ireland deported 69,000 people in the same calendar year. So their population only increased through immigration about 70,000 people. And over the last 5 years, they've seen an increase in immigration of about 400,000 people.
What's their total population? Isn't it like 30 million, 40 million?
Ireland is about 5 or 6 million, I think.
Hey, Diz.
Like Ireland has more of a chance of being outpopulated by sheep than they do immigrants.
Billy, I need you to get me that goddamn clip. He said there's a clip of an angry Irish woman shouting, "Coming over here, taking our women." I want that for my soundboard. I need it.
Ireland has a population of 5.3 million people.
So is that 1%?
Yeah, about 1%, yeah.
Bro, just say you hate black people and brown people. Say you hate just be honest.
It's not so. I've been over there a few times in the last couple of years, and I've heard they've had a lot of Ukrainian immigrants. That's what it is.
Oh, that's fine.
And they don't like that. They're not a huge fan of like anyone like in large groups coming over. But it's not that the population doesn't like other people. It's just that there's only about 5 million of them, and they feel like any amount of immigration is bad. Look,
you're gonna need people that aren't you. That's just the way it goes. I mean, if they want to try an ethno state, I mean, we see how that's going.
And it's not that like the Irish people are necessarily racist or anything. It's just that Conor McGregor over here feels that 100,000 people is taking over the control of Ireland from the Irish, and it's just not.
Well, then he should stay in his country and stop immigrating and getting all these freaking work visas in all these other countries. Don't leave Ireland. Okay? If you want to put people out, you know what I mean? You want to put people out of the country and then you're only in the country for 2 months out of the year because you're jet setting around or you're training in Brazil or you're doing all that. Don't do that. Stay in Ireland. You need to take your fortune and then invest it into your own goddamn country. Don't come over here and don't sell anything over here because Irish people need that stuff way more than us, apparently.
And here's the demographic breakdown of Ireland. 82% of Ireland is Irish people.
That's not enough, Tim.
82%. Another 9% is other white people. So 91% of Ireland is just white people.
It's too white, Tim. It's hit a crux. It's hit an intersection of, are you Irish white or regular white? And god damn it, I'm sick of the regular whites.
And the other whites are Europeans.
No.
Like it's not
No.
like it's not like they're Americans. They're Europeans.
American whites, they'd be like, I don't know how we feel about this because they're hilarious because they're stupid. But
It says the other 9% is either Asian background or African. So that's it. 9% is your non-white people. So
Kay in the chat says he wants to get in with the Trump crowd because he already knows they don't care about sexual assault. Russell Brand doing the same thing. He's like, I can't be just fighting anybody from YouTube. I need to find another horse to get back. I can't do like Mike did.
So Ireland, I'm white. My wife is Irish.
No, it's not gonna work.
Close enough.
Nah, Tim, don't be trying to like, look, it'll work in my favor now. Nah. And the Tate brothers are in Ireland? They better not be.
No, the Tate brothers are in Florida, and Florida hates it. Governor DeSantis hates it. He hates the Tates. He's been trying to get him kicked out of there.
Speaking of kicking people out,
Republican lawmakers in Minnesota want to, here in the state, add Trump derangement syndrome as an official mental illness.
I'm feeling sick, Tim.
Yeah, I got it. I got TDS.
I can't come into work.
Sorry, I can't come in today. I have TDS.
My TDS is acting up.
What's TDS? Oh, Trump derangement syndrome. Look it up.
I don't know if it's a respiratory thing.
I have long TDS. It's permanent.
I'll never be cured. It's
no cure.
It's inoperable.
State's definition of mental illness to include a form of criticism of the current president. Hannah Flood joins us from the Live Center with the details on this. Is a bill that's getting national attention. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Look at everybody wearing green because they know that they finna get pinched right off of that set if they don't. They know what time it is.
Morning. This bill defines the Trump derangement syndrome.
Buddy in the back thinking he brave. He's like, I'm back here. I'm not wearing nothing, man.
As an acute onset of paranoia in otherwise normal persons that is in reaction to the policies and presidencies of Donald J. Trump. Now, this bill lists symptoms as verbal hostility towards President Trump and overt acts of aggression and violence toward supporters. Currently, mental illness is defined.
I'll give them an act of aggression.
Hey, I want it to be illegal to not like me.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Tim, stop fucking laughing right now. This is the free speech party, okay? These are the people who are bringing free speech back to America.
Party. Free speech party.
But also, if you don't like who I like, I swear to God.
This is, man,
Jesus.
This is so like.
What did I just do? Sorry.
You clicked all the buttons.
I clicked many buttons.
This is so like Ben Shapiro pill because like. He's always talking about like, oh, the left is always trying to pathologize like the right is being crazy when they do things.
Yeah. And
it's like, this is exactly that. You're trying to say anyone who criticizes the president or seems hostile to Trump supporters is mentally ill. Come on.
Hi, Ghost Pouch.
I know that I'm like not neurotypical, but still. Like, I'm not fucking that crazy. I got the ADD, but it's not TDS. I don't have TDS. I want them to come up with a test.
Ghost Pouch says I'm riddled with TDS.
Yeah. I want a test.
Dude, I would fail that test. They'll just show one picture of him and I just start spitting on the floor.
It's like a Rorschach test. Yeah, that's Trump. That's a MAGA hat. That's a Tesla.
Progress only says, hello everyone, my mayor vetoed our resolution from Monday. If you want a slapstick session, go watch that 4-hour video. I am going to do that today because yesterday I was at the zoo. So you bet your sweet ass I'm going to watch that whole thing.
We get it, Mikey. Other people love you. Whatever.
I have Mikey famine derangement syndrome.
Trump and overt acts of aggression and violence.
I love
towards
Tesla.
supporters. Currently, mental illness is defined as a disorder or other issue that is included in a diagnostic codes list. While it's frequently used by President Donald Trump and his supporters, Trump derangement syndrome is not recognized as a mental diagnosis.
What?
I want in the diagnostic book, TDS, and I want a test. I want to know what they're testing for. I want. It's probably like a 5-question. It's probably like
who won the 2020 election?
Yeah, right. Who won the 2020 election?
That's so crazy that that's the oath they all have to take when they kneel and kiss the ring. You won 2020.
Yes,
Joe Biden lost.
Sleepy Joe, he's the worst.
Yeah, where's Sleepy Joe, by the way?
Dude, where the fuck is this guy? He's gone. He left.
He's left us. He ain't coming back. No. They'll wheel him out when Kamala tries to run for governor.
Oh, probably, yeah.
And then they'll put him back in storage, and and then try to claim credit for this obvious progressive shift that the country is about to make. And I knew that you would. Shut the fuck up! Hey, shut your whole ass up!
Do you remember when Joe Biden was the most progressive president in American history?
I don't.
That's because he fucking wasn't.
The derangement syndrome political phrase was actually coined in 2003 by a political commentator. The Minnesota bill borrows the exact phrasing that commentator used to describe Bush derangement syndrome, describing critics of former President George W. Bush.
Okay, guys. Whatever.
So, would you like to learn anything about oh, chill, Scott. Bum. This is our guy.
Who the fuck
GOP
is that?
State Senator Justin Eichhorn arrested on suspicion of soliciting sex with a 16-year-old girl. So you telling me, dog, that you telling us 2 days ago, well, probably 4 days ago, because it always takes them a day to get to the story. So you telling us we have Trump derangement syndrome because we're not dumb, but you think it's okay, or you think we're dumb to the fact that we're not going to arrest you for trying to get with a 16-year-old? Let's read on. This coming from the Minnesota. What does this say? Minnesota Reformer. State Senator Justin Douchebag, a Republican from Grand Rapids, was arrested in Bloomington on suspicion of soliciting a minor for sex.
Sounds like a Matt Gaetz type.
Bloomington police led Douchebag, 40, to believe he was talking to a 16-year-old girl, and then he met the senator, and arrested him Monday near the 8300 block of Normandale Avenue, according to Bloomington Police Department press release. Oh, you were talking to an adult online. You were talking to the cops online.
I mean, and the liberals are the ones you got to watch out for, because the liberals are the pedophiles.
And then it says here, as a 40-year-old man, if you come looking to have sex with someone's child, you can expect that we are going to lock you up. And that's from the Bloomington Police Chief, Booker Hodges, telling it like a TI is. I have always advocated stiffer penalties for these types of offenses. We need our state legislature, except for him, he won't be voting for it, I'm sure, to take this case and this type of conduct more seriously. But remember, y'all, we're the ones whose brains are all messed up. Notice how they didn't even put his ass in the story.
Yeah,
right. When they could have.
No, yeah, we're the ones that eat the brains of children for that sweet, sweet brain juice.
Adrenochrome smoothies.
Adrenochromes.
We put some avocado in there.
And you know, the drag queens are the one preying on children, not Republican legislators. But we got to protect the children.
In 2021, he objected to a bill requiring Minnesota schools to teach about sexual orientations and gender identity, saying, before you know it, they'll be reading kids 50 Shades of Grey. this discussion is better had at a more mature age. So you're thinking like 16?
Yeah.
Is 16 a good age for you?
Yeah, 16.
Give me a fucking break. We're the ones who are mentally deranged from the obvious assault on democracy by that dude. And you're telling me that you got the plan, you got the way to do it, and then you also trying to like, hey, are your parents out of town? To a cop with your goofy ass.
God. Diz says, will someone please think of the children?
Yes, I will.
Won't somebody please think of the children? What kind of...
The senator was Matt Walsh, a minor, or Destiny, or any of these other guys. All these big political white dudes who just criminally can't stop Matt Gaetz messing with kids. Leave the kids alone.
Yeah.
Leave the kids alone. Do you know who this is? Glenn Ivey, Tim?
No.
Well, this is Glenn Ivey. He is a Democrat from Maryland. Yeah, Maryland. So he's right outside of D.C. He held the town hall last night. And I'm honestly, wait for it, y'all. It'll come up in your feeds in like 2 days from now. But these little town halls, I don't know how you guys just don't watch them automatically, but I do. It's only got 32,000 views. Let's see if that. Yes. Let's see if this doesn't go viral in the next week. Damn, I thought I had it on the spot.
Go ahead.
Okay. Awesome. So thank you again, Congressman, for taking this time. I know it's gone over. I'm a little nervous, but I'm passionate. That's why I waited in this line.
Go ahead, girl.
One of the things I wanted to bring up was we're recognizing a shift, and what's going to happen to the Democratic Party is what happened to the Republican Party recently. And we're looking for radical fighters in the Democratic Party. We need people that are going to take a stand for things and not just ride the middle. And if you can't, you're going to see a lot of your constituents and people fall off. And so recently, looking at the news and stuff like that, I'm seeing some congressmen and politicians really speak up and take stands. But I want to bring back up a conversation that was hit on earlier today, and that's on funding in your campaign.
You'll never guess what he says.
Oh boy.
And I know
this
you
can
said
either
that
be
you're
very
okay
bad or
with
very good.
You'll never guess what he says.
Taking AIPAC money. I was disappointed by your answer. But I think one of the things that we need to see is just some politicians take a stand. So I'm asking you now, would you agree in your next campaign to be completely publicly funded? And
no.
If not?
No.
And if not?
I don't even think there's public funding.
There isn't. He's right. There's no public funding. Unless she's saying, I only want you to be funded by the voters.
Yes, by your constituents.
Okay. There's a difference between public funding and being funded by constituents.
I'm pretty sure he knows what she's saying.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I did watch, I watched this whole thing. It was 2 hours. I couldn't sleep last night.
For Congress or congressional
if not,
races. Okay.
How do you ensure that your legislative priorities remain focused on the needs of your constituents rather than your donors?
Good question.
Great question. So the bottom
Let's see how long it takes to answer. Let me start a timer.
line for my donors is I have, like 3,000 donors or something like that who, by and large, have given money in ways that, $500, $1,000 increments, something along those lines. So,
small donations.
Yeah, small donations from probably somewhat wealthy people.
Ryan in the chat.
And most of them aren't asking me for anything. So,
Congressman, we're smart.
Yeah, I'm smart. That's right.
Smart.
And before I was getting
No, we're smart.
No, we're smart. They're asking you for something.
We're not dumb.
Money. If you take a look at my career, I was taking the same stands that I've been taking. I waited 40 years to get to this job. I worked in the public sector. I worked in the Department of Justice. I worked in the United States Senate. I worked in the House for John Conyers. I have a long career of standing for the same things I'm standing for now. So, and when I was state's attorney here in Prince George's County, it was the same thing. In fact, some of the stands I took were not consistent with raising. When I came out against the death
Nailed it. Diz Citizens United, baby.
penalty, you think that helped me raise money with, you know, a lot of the moderate donors? No.
So you're used to taking bold stands, which is great. And I think we see a lot of talk around the oligarchs and what they're doing.
We got all these other people who stood in line just like you did too.
I know, but this is the same thing, and we see it as the same thing. That lobby money, super PAC money, is the same thing as what Elon Musk is doing. So we see it.
No, it's not what Elon Musk is doing. You know, I don't know that there's anybody on the planet who's doing what Elon Musk is doing right now.
Nice dodge.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she's right. She's right. All that super PAC money, all that dark money, see, Elon didn't use dark money.
Right.
He just came out and spent money. So
right.
in a way, he's correct. No one did what Elon did.
Right.
But all the super PAC money, all these large donations to campaigns, you know, because of Citizens United and McCutcheon versus FEC and McConnell versus FEC, you know, that destroyed the limits on contributions so that politicians could get basically whatever amount of money they want.
Unlimited power.
Especially from corporations.
Who, you know, they'll probably do like $500, $1,000. You know, that's probably all that they would donate. They would never donate more than that.
Other larger amounts.
Other amounts with more zeros.
I just don't think it's not equivalent. It's just not. Yes.
We got a couple of good questions in a row.
Good evening. I am Tori Vest. I'm a constituent from District 4.
What up, Tori?
I'm retired Navy, 7 years, retired due to service-related disability. And this point actually dovetails very well into my question. By continuing to insist that you are correct and that what we are trying to tell you, what we see, what we believe, what we perceive as your constituents is wrong, you are not being open to feedback from your constituents and your voters.
What is it I'm not listening to?
She just said that she saw these two things as big money, and you said they're not the same. You just completely ignored her. And I would like to
Elon Musk
point, please.
is, well, okay.
You are worth approximately somewhere between $1 to $3 million. Your salary is $174 million.
Brother man in the back, I just caught that. You see, he said, what?
$1 to $3 million. Your salary is $174 million. Per capita, thank you. Sorry, that was a big step. Per capita, District 4
said, "What the hell? What the?
How many millions of dollars?
You get $1 million every other day? That's some bullshit."
The average salary is less than $41,000. That means that in your district, people are surviving on less than $4,000 a month. You operate in different circles than we do. You talk with different people than we do. If you don't, when we say that we are scared of surviving until 2026, that's what we mean. We don't have.
Oh yeah. For context, pretty much this entire town hall, he's been like, "Oh, don't you wait, don't you worry, wait till we get to 2026. We're gonna be high stepping at that point. Don't you worry, guys." And they're like, "Okay, but what is your plan for the meantime?" Okay, let's go ahead and grab a couple more questions. It's like he hasn't listened for an hour and 52 minutes at this point. And she's like, you on stage are not listening to us in the crowd.
I mean, this is what happens when, you know, your representatives are no longer representative, right? I mean, she's correct. If his district, the median household income is about $40,000 a year, and his congressional salary is what it is. Like every congressman. Yeah, he doesn't set that. I mean, technically he doesn't, but he probably did at one point, right, depending on how long he's been there.
Since 87.
Yeah, so he's probably set the salary at least once or twice. He's not largely in control of what every congressman makes. However, he does run in different circles being a congressman. And this is the richest Congress ever.
Yeah.
This is also the oldest Congress ever.
Those are not related. How dare you, Tom?
I know. And you know, because there are no term limits in the Senate or the House, people get comfortable.
Yeah.
People get comfortable and
Complacent.
you know, they accumulate wealth. Unfortunately, that's what happens at the federal level in politics is you start to accumulate wealth, whether it's through like books or other endorsements you do. And he is probably out of touch. I mean, he seems like he's out of touch.
The salary to save and make it that far. My pension doesn't get me that far. When I
Right.
lose my health care, I will be blind by 2026.
Right.
And you will want me to show up and get arrested and be blind. And I will do that. But I want you to be there with me with your $174,000 to say, I was there every step of the way for 700 days for each and every one of my constituents to put every dollar that I could into education, back into the VA, back into retirement and Social Security. When we say that we're scared, it's because we make less than a quarter of what you do per capita. We can't make it to 2026 based on those numbers alone, and we need you to focus on March. We need you to focus on April.
You know, I appreciate.
Yeah, break it down for him.
And then maybe May.
The Maryland Katie Porter. All she is a dry erase board, and homie was cooked.
That, but I mean, that's why I got in politics. I mean, you know, the reason we're pushing, for example, to protect Medicaid is not because I need it. It's because there are poor people, and I gave you the numbers at the beginning of the night, here in Prince George's County who need it. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm fighting that fight. And so, you know, I make $174,000. It's less than I made when I was in private practice. But
Maybe you shouldn't say those things to people. That's an unforced error. I'm rich not because I'm in Congress. I was rich before I joined Congress.
I was already rich, don't you know?
That's not something you should say to your constituents. That's you should have been like $174,000 is what every congressperson makes. I don't set that. Like, say the true thing. Don't say the dumb thing.
Just a production note, Billy. They can curse in the chat. It's us that gets in trouble. They can go nuts.
Yeah,
so
no.
Unhide Sheldon's thing. Sheldon's good.
And we're not monetized yet.
Right.
So we can say what we want until we're monetized.
Yeah, we're gonna let it rip until that time. You know what I mean? We're trying to be better behaved young men to appeal to more people, but at the same time, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, we can just say it. Like, we don't have any penalties quite yet.
Yeah.
But you're 100% right, Tim. I don't know that this is the moment to, you know, I could have just like out-earned y'all little bitch asses anyway. Like, okay,
Right.
thanks. Thanks for that. I mean, I'm glad you're on our side. What the fuck?
I want to be, it's my turn. I wanted to be a public servant. And so that's why I'm doing the work. That's why I'm working hard to try and make a difference in the community. Now, the amount of money I'm getting, you know, I've been involved in public service since 1987, you know? So I appreciate your concerns, but I'm not fighting against that. I'm fighting for it. I really am. And the people that we work with to try and help here in Prince George's, I think most of them get it. When we do that, when I go visit, like, for example, at the churches I went
Billy, don't push the line, okay? Okay?
to,
You put a little UK flag if you're going to use the F word.
you know, over last weekend in particular. But that's what we're doing.
Trolling me.
When my wife helps the shelter down in District Heights, that's what it is. We're going there tomorrow, I guess. That's for Medicaid funding. So this is what we're doing. So that's the reason I'm in
Congressional salaries.
What is that?
Will you vote against raising congressional salaries?
No, but I mean, it never comes up. But no, no, because
it comes up. I
What are your
guarantee you that shit comes up. So here's the rule, and to our UK listeners, this may seem weird, but the last amendment to the Constitution, I believe the 28th Amendment.
I thought it was 6. Let me double check.
No, 20 or 25th. It might be 26th.
25th is the president.
Yeah, 26 is probably congressional salaries then. There was an amendment passed in 1991. That was the last constitutional amendment. And what it basically said is that the current Congress cannot vote on its own pay raise. You can only vote on the next Congress's pay raise. So that the current Congress cannot like corrupt itself with money. But most of these motherfuckers, not like 92% of them, get reelected every year. So, they're essentially voting for their own pay raise. It's just not, they just have to wait 2 years or whatever. Like, congressional pay raise, and
27.
Honestly,
that's why we missed it. 26.
Okay,
26 is 18 to vote.
Okay. That's what, the 27th Amendment. It comes up every once in a while because they would like a pay raise, and it does take a lot of effort to be in Congress, but their congressional salary is what it is. It's what they vote for. He probably gets also like spending stipends for transportation and a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, he's fine. He doesn't need any more money. $174,000 a year is more than most people make.
It's a lot more than his constituents make. And I think everyone, like, your salary should be the median income of your district, or if you're a senator, of your entire state. If you want more fucking money, then guess what? You better get some balls rolling in your state and raise the, like lift the tide. Like, you shouldn't be able to just like be on this pedestal above all of your constituents. If you want more money, then you should raise the standard of living in your constituency.
I mean, honestly, they should make enough money because they live both in DC and their home district.
Oh, they can't have a dorm room?
I mean, that would be funny.
That's what they need, and then they can have oh my god, the comedies. Can you imagine the comedies of like the Republicans like putting shaving cream all over the mirrors on the Dem side? It'd be like Hogwarts.
Well, they have to maintain at least an apartment in DC, plus their home, wherever they live in their home district. So it has to be enough to support the travel between DC and wherever they live. And California's a long way from DC. Some other states not so much. Like Connecticut's just a train ride.
We'll put them on a bus. They can get on. They can get on the dollar bus. What that thing called?
A Greyhound. Just take a Greyhound.
Yeah, they can take a Greyhound. It's mega bus. No stops on that mother.
I do understand like congressmen and senators making a certain amount of money. $174,000 might be a bit too much, but and Mikey, I get your point. Like they should get more equivalent to like what they would get in like their state as a median income. This guy here, he seems disconnected from the fact that his constituents are probably some of the poorer constituents in the country. And he's like, well, I could go back to private practice as, I assume, a lawyer and make millions of dollars instead of $174,000 a year. And that money doesn't mean anything to me. But he's missing the point.
Right.
That money means something to them because they have so little of it. And they're afraid that if there's a recession because of Trump, or they take away Medicaid or Social Security, that they're not going to have anything. And he's missing the point.
Progress always says, I'll compromise, Tim. Double the median. Yeah.
Double the median is probably good, although in some districts, that's probably a lot of money.
And then in some districts, that is nothing.
That is nothing.
That is nothing.
How does that change? Okay, here's what you're saying. The people, like take the Senate, for example. Most of the people are multimillionaires in the Senate, that they don't care about the salary.
Yeah,
That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
And so one of the things we're trying to do And, you know, I don't think there's been a raise in Congress for 20-something years, and it's been no.
Okay, you know that's a damn lie.
I'll look it up.
He lying because they just upped it. Like, what year is it? 2022. I thought they upped it because of cost of living and shit like that. So, I mean, I wish you wouldn't say things that were so Googleable.
Below, say, like federal judges, for
15,
example.
15 years ago was the last time they got a pay raise.
There you go.
They tried to pass one in 2022, but they didn't get the votes.
That's right. I knew I wasn't. I watch a lot of news, so I'm glad.
So
I'm glad I didn't make that up in my head.
2010, oddly enough, the same year as Citizens United.
Funny that.
$50,000. So, if there are people out there who are middle income who want to run for Congress, like AOC, and get elected, that's great. I don't think they should. I don't think they should be trying to lower the salaries because it'll actually discourage the number of people middle income.
Or you'll get people in there who aren't obsessed with money.
He is entirely missing the point of what she is saying.
Absolutely.
Because he's too wrapped up in defending his own salaries and his own wealth.
Correct.
And the wealth of all the senators, apparently. Like, they're so rich they don't need that money, is what he's saying. And it's okay if AOC, who, when she ran for Congress, was a waitress.
Yeah.
It's okay if the little people get in every once in a while. They ground the rest of us.
Hey, it's nice to have somebody poor to really remind us of.
If you lower our salaries, that means the rich people won't want to run for office anymore. I don't get it.
It's less of an incentive, Tim, because that's what representing your district is. It's like winning the lottery. It's a way to financial security.
So I know that Senator Chris Murphy has been in the news a lot because he's one of the only Democrats who's like out there actively trying to do something. And I was at a discussion with him.
Parker Someone says Congress Dems be like, I have a poor friend.
I have a poor friend. I got to talk to Senator Murphy about, he was doing a conversation about student loan debt and the student debt crisis. This was probably 2016 or 2018.
Okay.
And he said that he was one of the only members of Congress who still had student debt.
Wow.
Because he is not poor by any means, but he is not a multimillionaire to my knowledge. If that's wrong, someone correct me. And he was talking about how a lot of people in Congress don't have any student debt. They're millionaires. They went to school for free. You know, they went to school on daddy's money.
Right.
Or they just had a trust fund they could do whatever with. And he's like, I actually had like $100,000 in student debt, and I still have some of that. And so he's like, I understand what it's like to have student debt and have that hanging over you the whole time. It makes you less able to pay your other bills when you got to worry about paying your student loans every month. Otherwise, you know, they'll come after you for it. And
so I'm changing my name.
And like, it's the stark difference between like Senator Murphy, who is, once again, not a person who is poor. He is probably somewhat well off. And this guy talking to constituents about money issues, I feel is like night and day.
The tone deafness is staggering.
This guy has no connection to his constituents. And like, it's wild. Like he's trying to defend. He's very defensive about the money that he makes and the money that he could make. And he's not caring about what this woman is saying.
One angry pig in the chat says, see over here, a number of our MPs actually grew up in relative poverty and went to state school, so like public school. Is there anyone even remotely comparable in U.S. politics? I'd say, yeah. I think there's a lot of people who went to regular public high schools and then went to like a 4-year school, got some degrees, probably went to the private sector for a while, and then ran for office. They usually don't come like straight out of college, you know, like the college to Congress pipeline, I don't think has been established yet.
Yeah.
But it's but yeah, people get in from state schools all the time.
And yeah, and like we were talking about AOC.
It's a little different here. You guys have like such a huge, vast difference between them. Like, but Ivy League doesn't run everything.
No, definitely not. The congresswoman that I work for went to a non-Ivy League college for her degree. She didn't go to like Yale or anything, even though she lives in Connecticut and in New Haven, and Yale is in New Haven. She didn't go to Yale or anything like that. Like,
are you ready for the shoe to drop?
Oh, I'm ready. Drop the shoe.
People who will be able to run.
This was
the reason I was able.
This was all appetizers.
To do it.
Oh no, that wasn't the worst part.
Right.
Is because all of my kids are grown and have gone through college. So, but anyway, I think next question here, real quick.
Have to be the last question.
Okay.
It's the last one of the night.
One main. Thank you. So, I have one main 3 points very quickly. What wasn't in the Democratic platform was calling for an immediate ceasefire. Also, you mentioned that people in the Senate don't care about salary, but they care to be career politicians. Would you be willing to give your support to an independent or Green Party representative for the next election, since you don't have the ideas and the Democratic Party is already fractured beyond measure?
Would I be willing to do what?
Would you be willing to give your support to the next Green Party representative or independent?
No.
Okay. Then
No.
I will not be voting for you next. Thank you.
Okay. I appreciate that. Yes. Oh, that's right. You got to need the mic there. We need to have the trying to push. These to make sure we get the work done.
You hear me?
There you go.
Okay, I am.
Stay close to it.
I am a Muslim, and for the first time in my life, I am standing here in fear, because I don't think my First Amendment right is protected. Okay, are you going to protect me? Are you going to protect all those? It's not just about me. Maybe some of us are indispensable, like it seems. Like it seems like genocide is okay for whatever reasons. At least think about others, because they will come for us. We are dispensable. We don't matter. Those people don't matter. There are so many human rights abuses. They don't matter. Life is going on. But at least smell the coffee. Do you think 2026 is coming? Do you think they are not going to rig elections? You think you can stop that? You think courts can stop that? Who is going to implement their verdicts? Where is the force? Who is going to do that? Can't you see it? And sorry to say, Democratic Party sounds like Chamberlain in World War II, okay? We are there. If you can't see it, I can see it. I am just a regular, normal citizen. You have been telling me what you have done in your life. Haven't you read the history? Can't you see it? Tell me, what should I feel? What should I do? I don't know. Somebody will take a video or not. I don't know if somebody comes and pull up my car and asks me, where are your papers? Just because of the color of my skin, just because of my religion. Are you going to protect me, or are you going to have another town hall meeting and say that, oh, APAC money, I will take it? It's okay for them to kill so many people, and if I talk about it, I can be arrested. And I don't know if my citizenship matters anymore. What are you going to do about it? I'm your constituent. I voted for you. And do you know why you guys lost the election? Do you even know that? Have you guys done anything about it? Do you even know why Kamala Harris lost? Why there were not people out voting? Because you guys didn't even listen to them. You avoided certain concerns. And that fascist, he went to them. You guys didn't even did that. So you think that we should listen to you anymore? I'm so disappointed. I came with so much hope. I've been waiting here. And I don't know what will happen to me. Thank you.
Damn.
Out of the mouths of babes. She's 100% right. Like, you can't put your stock in the Well, the blacks, we got check them off. They're definitely gonna. All of them are gonna vote for us. Muslims, Trump hates Muslims, so of course they're gonna vote for us. All right, now let's just focus on these middle class, middle aged white people, and then like that was the entire strategy.
Yeah.
Like, are you joking or are you dumb? Like, what?
Well, Mikey, you see what happened was that when Joe Biden dropped out of the race and the Democrats like de facto nominated Kamala Harris, since she's both black and Asian, they figured they didn't need to do any of that.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff. Because they had it sewn up. Like their problem was they reached to the right.
Yes, not even towards the center, just right. They skipped the center.
Like Kamala Harris was doing talks with Liz Cheney and like trying to get Republicans to vote for her, and Republicans were never going to vote for her.
No. Maybe they got 16 people.
Yeah, and they just like shoot away the left. They're like, you guys are going to vote for us regardless, right? So who cares?
Well, you don't want fascism, do you? It's like, this is fascism, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing it already. Kay says, Joe, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black Biden.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Democrats badly mismanaged that entire campaign, with the exception of like 1 month between Kamala Harris getting the de facto nomination and then her first debate.
Yeah.
That was a good period for the Democrats because there was a lot of energy. Everyone was excited. Everyone was involved that it wasn't Joe Biden anymore. So we were going to get this thing done. And then Kamala had a debate with Donald Trump, and the things that she was saying were not policies anyone wanted to hear.
Right.
Her opportunity economy stuff was nonsense. She didn't talk about Medicare for all. She didn't talk about student debt. She didn't talk about the economy. She just lashed out at Donald Trump, which is something that Donald Trump wanted.
Right. Swallowed the hook.
Right. And, all the good stuff that was happening in her campaign came to a halt because of the consultant class in the Democratic Party, which needs to go away. Those fucking consultants who told them to stop calling Republicans weird, which was working
so well.
And to stop going after Republicans so hard because you want them to vote for you. They're not going to fucking vote for you.
Well, even if they were going to vote for me, I want them to not want to vote for that guy, which is why they're voting for me. Like, I would need to show how bad the other guy is so that they'll vote for me. Not, look, he's bad from that right wing of politics, but this one from right wing politics is good. Don't you see? It's like, no, dumbass, just say the whole thing's fucked up, and then get Liz Cheney to be out there. Yeah, Republicans suck. I'm a Democrat now. That's how you get, you know what I mean? But she didn't do that. She said, "Look at my best friend over here." She was like, there was like, Cardi and Meg. They're my best friend. It's like, no, that's not your best friend. That's not it.
All they had to do was say that Trump and JD Vance are weird motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They do weird shit, and they want to do weird shit to your country. And they're fascist. That's all the campaign had to be, and that I am going to change government for the better. Their other problem is that somehow they made Kamala Harris, who wasn't the president, the status quo candidate.
Right.
And Trump the change candidate, which is never the position you want to be in. Like, you never want to be in the position where you are the status quo, because people weren't happy with the economy, and they're like, "Oh, the economy's fine."
Yeah.
It's fine that inflation was through the roof for so long, and it's down now, but things are still more expensive. But that's fine. You'll be fine. We're not really going to help you. We're just going to tell you that you're doing great.
Is this I think this is a... Yeah. Yeah.
Way big moneyed interests that plague both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party would be eradicated. The voice of the American people would no longer be drowned out by the voice of corporate interest groups and political action committees. Do you think that the Democratic Party is complicit in the current campaign finance crisis by accepting donations from corporations and political action committees such as Amazon, Walmart, Meta, JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Coinbase, Lockheed Martin, and the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, otherwise known as AIPAC? These groups are listed as contributors to your campaign on the Federal Election Commission's website. So do you think that the Democratic Party is complicit in the current campaign finance?
Say, oh, you think you bought that? You think it's a game?
OpenSecrets.com.
Crisis by accepting donations from these groups?
Well, I guess the answer is kind of. And what I mean by that is
wrong answer.
The big donation numbers that you're talking about don't go directly to candidates. They're called independent expenditures. And so you'll have an entity that'll set something up like Elon.
Let me tell you.
What's he saying, Tim?
Let me tell you about independent expenditures. Independent expenditures are something that corporations and political action committees do on behalf of candidates. So let's say, for example, an independent expenditure is like a mailer. Okay. They'll send out a mailer on behalf of a candidate. They're not directly contributing to that candidate, but they are backing that candidate on some issue.
Paying their bills.
It's money. Yeah, it's sort of an in-kind contribution. They're spending money on the candidate without actually giving him the money.
So it's fine.
It's totally fine.
Elon Musk, he didn't actually give the whole $250 million to Donald Trump's campaign.
Right.
He spent money on independent expenditures. They're spending it now on independent expenditures. So what that means is the money doesn't go to the candidate. They just
JD Vance, the guy who pulls his pants all the way down at the urinal, is hilarious. and then he starts talking.
Oh my god. And I bet you he picks the urinal like right next to you.
Oh, right next to you. When there's like seven. There's seven. And he picks
he violates all the rules.
All the guy codes.
He talks in the bathroom.
Yeah.
He pulls his pants all the way down, which is wild. And he'll he'll pick the urinal right next to somebody and start talking to him, like turning his head and talking.
Yeah, bare ass.
Did you see that game last night?
Ads or whatever political activity they want.
No, Tim, it would be how long you worked here.
Oh, yeah. So how long you been in this urinal? Oh, that's great.
Is that a good one?
Hey, you like couches?
To a separate entity they step up. And it can be supporting that candidate. In fact, that's why they do it. But according to the Supreme Court, there's a constitutional right to do this. So even if you're not taking those dollars directly, you can't because there's a cap on what you can receive. I think for Congress it's like $3,500.
Right.
But if it's going through some other entity, even though it's helping a particular member, it's not counted in that way. It's just a separate. The Constitution says they have the right to do it independently if they want to.
Right. So you believe money? I mean, Citizens United basically says that money is speech. You would agree?
I don't think it's true. I disagree with the ruling, but it's the law of the land. So,
fair enough.
Many years. You need a constitutional amendment to do that.
Fair
Did
enough.
he just say? Did he just say that he disagrees with Citizens United, but he'll fucking use it?
Absolutely, it is what it is.
It's the law of the land, guys. You just gotta accept it, motherfucker.
The first bill I worked on. Hold up.
Everyone wants money out of politics. If you ran on that, you would win.
You would win. Campaign finance.
So if you guys couldn't hear me, he said everybody wants cleaner elections, and if you ran on clean up campaign finance, you would win hands down.
As a Democrat, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just get out in front of it and say, I won't take any money from these corporations, so please give me $3. Everybody give me $3, and we'd be good.
Case in point, Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
In 2016.
Yeah.
Ran on a campaign that comprised of no money, get rid of Citizens United, universal health care, free college, free public college. Like those are the three basic tenets of his campaign. And he came within a hair of the Democratic nomination.
Well, I mean, depends on who you ask. Some say that he clearly won that shit.
He clearly won that shit.
And then here come these super electors, just to make sure that
and
it's her turn.
He's been a mayor and a congressman and a senator forever, and he's run on just those things forever, and civil rights forever. And he's one of the most successful senators in the history of Congress. So
everyone's favorite sixth ward, is it sixth ward? I think sixth ward representative says, I took no corporate money, no labor money, and only $200 from a local PAC and won. So enough.
There you go.
Enough with the bullshit.
I've never accepted political contributions from a business or a political action committee.
Good for you. But we're gonna change that going forward, Tim.
You know, I hate to answer because he interrupted you, but I mean, the bottom line though is independent expenditures are not going away anytime soon. The bill that I worked on when I was a staffer 30 years ago was called McCain-Feingold. And that was aimed at trying to get money out of politics.
Oh, I know McCain-Feingold.
By setting these restrictions on what was called then soft money. And that was passed, and it was successful for about 5 minutes, because then they set up the independent expenditures process to loop around it. So within, I mean, the ink wasn't even dry on the bill before it got circumvented. Right. So unless we can fix this, and I think it's unlikely that's going to happen anytime soon, it's going to continue in that way. Okay. The key, I think, is to make sure that we try and raise the money. The real counterpoint to what's happened on that front is the growth in small donor donations. It started with Barack Obama, and it's grown. So you've got people who can raise millions of dollars with $5 and $10 increments. So Obama had grandmothers giving him $10 a month. That added up. Before Barack, nobody thought that was a good way to raise money. But what they saw was you got enough people together to do that.
I like how he's like, you know what was a really good way of fundraising? And like raising all this excessive amounts of money to like win an election. Barack Obama, he did a great job at that. You know, he was just like hustling old ladies for $10 a month. And that really added up over time. Like, this is what happens when you're part of that fucking consultant class 24/7. You get out in front of real people and you can't even hear yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Like they gave that money because they believed in him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I could take or leave Obama at this point. Like, I'm like, the drone strikes really did it for me, man. And then pretending to drink the water in Flint really did it for me. But then to use him as in, look, he's your messiah and he did it.
Right.
Like, it's so like, dude, you are such a consultant at this point.
He's so absorbed in like, and I get it, right? To a certain extent, I get it. He's so absorbed in the running of campaigns because he's a House member. He has to run a campaign every 2 years.
Right.
And I'm sure it's a grind to raise that kind of money. However, if he's saying that, like, well, it's the law of the land and independent expenditures are never going to go away, and he worked on McCain-Feingold, it's wild to say that I worked on McCain-Feingold, which is also known as the Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act. And to say that, well, soft money, which is what independent expenditures are, is fine with me, is wild.
Look, it's not going anywhere.
It means that he has done a complete 180 on campaign finance reform on a bill that he supposedly worked on that became law. And yes, it got gutted by Citizens United. It did. It got absolutely destroyed by it. But to say that because he lost, he should be fucking just go with the system, is insane. It shows that the principles that he claims that he has, he doesn't actually have, because he'll just go with whatever.
Right. There you go. I hope you enjoyed your last little time in office, because whether this country even has elections anymore, I can
Is
tell
he
you.
on the list?
I think he needs to go on the list.
Put him on the list.
I think he needs to go on the list. The blue side is filling up just as quickly as the red side. I just want to say that. Let's see. Poisoned Ivy. That's your name. Oh. Poisoned. There you go.
Spelling.
Yikes, dude. Tell me, like,
yeah, yikes.
And everybody had to listen to him for 15, 20 minutes, and he went on his normal, I'm here because this is serious, y'all. Like, I voted against cloture, and I want to I'm shocked that they voted for cloture, and all these people that I'm right here with y'all. And as soon as I started, it's like, hey man, what's all this money you keep getting?
Yeah.
Hey man.
From Lockheed Martin.
Hey man, you gonna do some stuff for us? Hey man, I noticed you've been awfully silent on a couple of issues. Okay. Instead of listening to the people's things and being accountable for it, he's just like, look, this is not changing.
Yeah,
So,
he's like, I'm not going to change. And there's
that's okay.
There's a theory on being a representative, right? There's two different kinds of representatives. There are representatives who are actually out there to represent the people, and they listen, they take in the information, and then they vote based on that information, right?
Yeah.
And then there's representatives who have their own agenda and their own ideology, and they're going to vote based on that, regardless of what constituents say. And this guy is clearly the latter. He knows what he's going to vote for. He knows what he's going to do. Whether people think it's good or bad, he's going to vote consistently however he wants, not how his constituents want him to vote.
You picked me, and I will make the decision.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
To me, my
speaking of making decisions.
Speaking of defending their bad decisions.
Oh man.
So Chuck Schumer talked with Chris Hayes on Friday, and then he talked to him on Monday. Chris Hayes has some questions. Thanks, MSNBC.
my understanding of the critique that's broader than the specifics here, which is about the level and depth of crisis we're in and the appropriate tactics to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I think people think is, first of all, we all know the Senate functions on unanimous consent. It's how anything happens. We've watched real pains in the butt, Tommy Tuberville, basically bring the place to a halt.
Yep.
Just denying unanimous consent because he was mad the Department of Defense might somewhere pay for a portion, right? The idea of
Billy in the chat says, hey, Ivy, the bus is leaving. You on or off? He's not on, man. He's like, I'll wait for the next one in 2026. All right, brother. You keep waiting.
of how cataclysmic that shutdown. I hear what you're saying. But what I'm hearing from people, and there's a lot of them, is right now a crisis is happening unlike anything the Republic has faced, maybe since even the Civil War.
Right.
Most Americans don't quite grasp it. And it's your job as the most powerful Democrat to use whatever tactics you have to communicate that. And by going along with this, you have missed this opportunity to tell the nation
There's only one,
just how bad it is.
There's only one choice to going along with it. Shut down. We have to pick the fights, and I want to fight Trump as much as anybody and stop him and not give.
We will win. We will win.
Look at Schumer finding the hard cam and be like, I'm going to talk directly into the camera.
Is this one? I'm on one.
The Republicans sucker help. But in this situation,
But doesn't it call the question? Doesn't the crisis create the attentional vortex that is necessary? Because right now,
Yes. And for everybody who's confused out there in the chat, the government shutdown was the right thing to do. If your nuclear reactor is about to go super critical and everything's about to go haywire, you scram the fucking tank. Yeah, it'll take a long time to get all the fluids back to where they need to be and to get all your rods where they're supposed to be. But that's the point. You do it in an emergency. Everyone has said, "Cool, it's emergency time. Hit the emergency switch."
And
what are you talking about? What are you talking about? He's gonna try some new thing that he saw on the internet. Hit the fucking switch.
I would say for anyone out there who's like, "Oh, they shouldn't have shut the government down" and all that stuff, like, what did Schumer get in return for not shutting down the government? What did the Democrats get from the Republicans for their 10 votes?
Nothing.
Nothing. They didn't
Literally
even
nothing.
bargain. They just said, "Oh yeah, no, we're fine, whatever." Like, at least use the bargaining chip that you have, saying we will shut down the government unless you give us something.
And I think it would have been real easy, but I mean, AOC talked about this earlier. If you guys saw the clip of that, where you send it back to the House. You say no votes. It goes back to the House. We do a clean CR because they added a bunch of crap to it. You know, like gutting Medicaid and Medicare, giving more defense money to Elon, and a whole bunch of other shit. And it's like kiddo. I was like, the whole point of this was to, like, you were the last, like, you know, break in case of emergency. We shut it down if things are getting out of control. It is out of control. How do you not see that it's out of control? It's very obvious. Everyone sees it.
And we should listen to Schumer a bit, but after he talks, I have some counterpoints to I know what he's going to say, but it wasn't the only option to not shut down. Like they could have done any number of things.
Yep. Here we go.
People have no idea that they're going to basically get rid of all of American universities and all of American science funding.
Yeah.
We try to communicate it every night, but there's nothing like a crisis to drive that home.
But the drama of the shutdown, eliminating all of these things would do such damage substantively, that I couldn't tolerate it. I couldn't live with it. You know, I know there's the idea that, okay, people will sit and negotiate with us because they're doing bad things. That ain't these Republicans. They wouldn't sit with us for nothing because their overall goal.
That is exactly why you shut it down. It forces them to the table. It forces MAGA Mike to call everybody back, call the House back, get them back in there, get a clean CR that the Democrats will vote on, and then that will go to the Senate and get passed. That is what you're supposed to do. You have to apply a tourniquet for a deep, bleeding, gushing blood wound. And he's like, no, I have a whole box of Band-Aids. It doesn't matter, we'll be dead, stupid, by the time you get the stupid freaking paper thing off of there. It's the static. Like, it's not going to work.
And his argument is going to be that the Republicans want the shutdown. That they you know, that's their entire goal, is to stop paying federal employees and all that stuff. But the polling showed that a majority of voters would have blamed the Republicans for the shutdown.
Yes, because they have majorities in all three.
You had polling on your side for a shutdown, which never happens. You had your voters wanted it. The other Democrats wanted it. The House Democrats were crying out for this.
Yeah.
My congresswoman was calling Schumer the day before the vote saying, please vote for the shutdown.
Yeah.
Don't vote for cloture. Like, there were other Democrats calling these senators saying, please don't fucking blow up everything. Like, do the shutdown. Get something for it.
Right.
And Schumer was just like, nah, we don't need anything. We don't need any promises from the Republicans for anything. And if they weren't going to negotiate, then you shut the government down and force them to negotiate.
Yes.
Because they need the government operating as much as you do.
I mean, selling that at home is impossible for Republicans. They have to come to the table.
Yeah.
Because I mean, maybe I'll grab Tommy Tillis's voicemails again. I know some people heard parts of it. It's It is juicy, Tim. It is juicy. The death threats. Oof. Très magnifique. You have, because everybody they've been beating their chest for weeks now about how awesome everything's going, how great it's going to be, and then the government gets turned off. Now they got to dig themselves out of that hole. He refuses to put them in a hole.
Yeah.
He refuses. It's right there. There's been 10,000 opportunities already, and this is the last time that we can put the fucking train in a ditch before we like kill everybody. Like, I don't understand what the fuck this guy's problem is. I don't want to say it's his age, but I'm tired of fucking having to make fucking excuses for people who are clearly above their depth. You cannot see the forest for the trees, dude.
It's not his age. It's his entire approach to politics.
Yeah.
He thinks
that's
that
aged.
If he thinks that he capitulates enough, then the Republicans will want to work with him. He thinks that if he's agreeable enough, the Republicans will want to work with him. And they're not gonna. They don't want to.
He's already confessed that they're not going to work with him.
Yeah. And even though it's not Mitch McConnell in charge of the Republicans in the Senate anymore, they're still not going to want to play ball.
Right.
The only way, and I get that like political polarization is a whole separate problem, and Congress has been polarized for far too long, and they do need to start working together again. But it wasn't Friday, or right. That wasn't the day,
and
it wasn't going to happen.
And all, except for one of the House Democrats, they voted to not do this.
Right.
They were supposed to be united in not doing this. And you're the leader of the Senate, and the other people in the Senate are saying, dude, we cannot change back on this. We are going to fracture the part. Like, is he fucking MAGA? And we're just stupid and we're not paying attention? Like, why are there certain strategic fracture points in the Democratic Party? And it's the same motherfuckers, you know what I mean? It's the same people being ineffective. And, and unreliable at the worst possible moments. They continue. So what is this? Is that what it is? Did AIPAC buy the left wing as well, and that's why they're making it self-detonate? Is that what I'm to believe at this point?
It's honestly, because you got to remember, like the day before, he was like, "Oh yeah, we're not voting for it."
Yeah.
And then on Wednesday, he was like, "We're not voting for it.
Yes.
The Republicans aren't going to get anything from us."
Right.
Except for Fetterman, because he's a Republican.
Just Fetterman's peeling off of the herd. That's okay. Let him go.
And then he turns around the next day and says, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to get in their way with the resolution. We don't want a government shutdown."
I want all of the fucking security footage, all of like the the 7-Eleven camera, inside any meeting rooms. Where's he been? What happened to him between Wednesday and Friday? I want his phone records. I want to see his emails.
Yeah.
Who did you talk to? Or who talked to you? What did you watch? What did you see? Because how do you in 48 hours not only abandon all of the American people, but all of your Democratic colleagues?
Right.
And you're supposed to have all this experience, and then you just say, "I know best"? Is this the Joe Biden way, where he's just like, "I'm not leaving"? Hand on his cane. Like, I don't understand. Daily Plus.
And I watched. I think I can find the clip, but there's a clip of Simone Sanders Townsend on MSNBC over the weekend, and she was like, "I don't know what Schumer like." She was disgusted by what Schumer did. She's like, "I'm leaving the Democratic Party over this.
This is a betrayal."
And I don't disagree with her. Yeah. Like, this is a point. This was the only leverage the Democrats had for the next 6 months. This was their moment to say, "Hey guys, we're standing up," and to control the narrative for once.
Right.
And Schumer just gave it all up. He gave it away, and he said, "It's too hard." That's what he said. It's too hard.
And I think someone said in the chat earlier, Elon's doing a government shutdown already.
Yeah.
He's shutting down sectors of the fucking government already, and there's no accountability for any of it.
Yeah.
He's getting away with it. So what are we talking about? I don't understand. Like, how is he still there? How does he get into that position and be this incompetent?
Here, Mikey, I found the clip. It's in the chat.
Thank you.
But it's for the Democratic leader in the Senate to just backtrack on that kind of shit in a day. Like, I don't know, man.
Something's up. I smell a dead fish.
The Democrats are already polling at the lowest they've ever polled. We didn't even cover that yet.
Oh yeah.
The Democrats in Congress are polling at the lowest they've ever polled. It's like 26% or some shit like that. Below the Republicans. The Republicans
are below water, and they're still shitting on us.
Yeah. Yeah, the Republicans are at like 40% favorability, and the Democrats are at 27%. Because they don't know how to fucking manage any of this shit.
Anything. They are floundering. Absolutely floundering. And this is exactly why they have legacy and they've been here since, so they worked with so-and-so. Like, you are unable to do your job.
Yeah, completely unable.
You don't have the skills. You don't have the guts. Get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
Just fucking go, dude.
If you're not going to actually lead the Democratic Party, then get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of the way so someone with a brain can fucking accomplish what needs to be done. Lord have mercy.
Page 22 is where they zero out the money for the COPS program. I didn't write down which page it was on, but within this document, $1 billion cut from Washington, D.C. I'm a D.C. resident, and I'm pissed.
Yep.
Okay, so, there's actually little that the Senate minority leader can say, and the 10 Democrats that voted with the Republicans can say, to appease somebody like me. I'm about to change my registration to independent.
Yeah.
She's going to change her. You know what? I might change my registration to independent. Fuck the Democratic Party.
Dude, it's fucking, there is something wrong with them. You know what I mean? Like, something is off. Like, this is so counter all of the values. All of the values. There is no political strategy in any of this. Like, this is I think this is a fall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is.
I want to know who he was talking to.
Yeah. And the Democrats have not recovered from losing the election.
Right.
And they're coming up on like party failure territory over here.
Yeah.
Like, they're coming up on complete, just one hand doesn't know what the other one is doing. Failure. Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer are ineffective leaders.
Yeah.
There are better leaders in the House and there are better leaders in the Senate. And I'm not saying it should be like Bernie Sanders. Bernie is tired enough.
He's only been saying this shit for, since 84.
But
the Democrats wouldn't even fucking give him a desk to sit at over there. You know what I mean? Like, this is,
right.
He's been beating this fucking drum for like our entire lives.
And I'm not saying that like Schumer has to pass the torch or anything. I'm saying Schumer should get the fuck out of the way and let some other Democrats who maybe have better leadership skills do their thing. Same thing. Jeff tried him out. Good. Next.
Uh-oh, we got some internet issues. think the stream is still good, but you started roboting. Can you just say that one more time?
Oh. I said, Schumer should get out of the way, let the next Democrat fucking in the Senate, basically next man up in the House and the Senate. Schumer and Jeffries need to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And let someone who can actually lead the Democratic Party lead the Democratic Party.
I mean, I have to give it to Jeffries. He did keep the whole caucus together.
Yeah.
Except for one. And that's I mean, I got to give him his. I do shit on him a lot, but at least he did his job.
And that is true. And maybe if he can, have some more spine in the future and not seem like so weird and awkward.
He's weird and awkward, but he did his job. He pulled the lever when necessary. He's off the list.
Wow, he gets off the list.
I mean, look at Chuck Schumer. I mean,
no, that's true.
Chuck Schumer saved him and made him look like a hero, and now I got to fucking acknowledge it because I'm not a hater.
Leader Jeffries, we're keeping our eye on you.
Yeah, you're still, I mean, I do remember you now, so I remember your face. Darren says, should AOC primary Schumer? Absolutely. Absolutely. If it isn't someone else. Bowler Hat Man in the chat. Give him an air horn. If only Senator Sanders was picked for Hillary's vice president.
If only they let Bernie be president.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the timeline? President Sanders in 2016.
Hey, you know what we should do? We should start writing a show. That is that timeline. And we can back it up with like proper, accurate, historical predictions in there. So we can insert crises. Like,
my God.
You know what I mean? Like, we could say how they would react to all this stuff. We're doing this.
Oh my God, yes.
The Berniverse. That's it.
The Bernieverse.
The Bernieverse. A life less lived.
Yeah, because we're fucking living in the darkest timeline.
Dude, Abed was right, man. Abed was right. 6 seasons in a movie.
But yeah, I don't think I'm going to support the Democratic Party as a whole anymore. I think that there are certain Democrats
I'll pick my candidates.
Yeah, I'll pick my candidates. I don't know if the Democrats deserve my registration anymore.
But this is what I was trying to say. Like last year, is we need not the fucking Greens with fucking homegirl or Marianne Williamson. Like not those kinds of people. But there needs to be a bunch of boring ass Katie Porters, Tim Walls's in a progressive wing of the left, away from like that regular ass people shit. Like I get shit on sale shit, like true progressives. And to get away from this corporatocracy that has just completely poisoned the well, completely.
And the Democrats have let the Republicans drag them so far to the right over the years.
Yeah.
That they're not a left party anymore. They're not even a center left party. They're a center right party. If you look at what the Republicans were for in, let's say, the 90s and early 2000s, that's kind of what the Democrats are for now.
Right.
And neither party represents my interests anymore. And the Democrats haven't represented my interest in quite some time. But I've been holding on because I was like, okay, maybe they'll get their shit together. Maybe they'll get their shit together. They're just not.
And us everyone trying to work within the system to change the system is realizing that the system is not only like stronger than you expected, it is on fucking steroids. Like the money that they're packing and how they just bury any sort of like small disagreement, any kind of new progressive voice, they just snuff them out. Like Cori Bush got one session in Congress before AIPAC decided to get rid of her for standing up for Palestine.
Yeah.
What's my man from New York? Malcolm Jamal Warner. No. Who just lost his election in New York? The black guy. Oh my God, his name's leaving me. He has one of the best accents ever too.
Oh, I forget his name. I know we talked about
he
him.
was in the squad. It'll come to me in a second.
Yeah.
But for the two of them to be bumped, and no Democratic support, them labeled as anti-Semitic, them labeled as any of the slurs that they'll put out there and the libel that they'll put out there. I know how to find out what their name is.
Bowman.
Yeah, Jamal Bowman. And people love them. They're people. Those people love those people until suddenly the 35 mailers started like flooding everyone's house, full of lies, full of bullshit.
Right.
Turning the tide.
The two-party system in America is so broken.
It's just one party now.
And go back to that congressman that we were listening to, who clearly didn't give a fuck.
Right.
Like that's what happens.
Good over here.
That's what happens. These guys get into office. There's no reason, if they're in a safe district, Maryland is pretty safe for Democrats.
Yep.
There's no reason for them to ever capitulate to constituents.
For what?
What are constituents going to give them more money?
Right. They don't even have no money. I'm in this broke ass district. They don't even have no money.
They're as Keith Olbermann would say, they're too busy trying to keep their jobs to do their jobs.
Right.
And Schumer's one of them. He's too busy trying to keep his job to do his job.
And like, no, I don't even think any of them have it within them to be like, you know what I want and the politic I run is not wanted right now. It sounds like y'all want something else.
Yeah.
I'm out. If y'all going to just yell and screw at me, I'll just go. Like, where's it? Like, all right, fine, they don't like me no more. Because if I'm like mayor of my city or whatever, and then like we have a good time and everything's going great, and then people are just like constantly harassing me and mad at me, and like every decision I make they fucking hate. I'm like, all right, well then I should probably go then.
Right.
I'd take the hint.
Right. And I think that some Democrats have taken that hint. They've said they're not running for re-election or they're retiring or something like that.
Yeah.
There's been a whole slew of those in the last year or so.
But he had all of the House Democrats and all of the House Senate Dems all just like, okay, we're doing this, right? Like you were supposed, like, how do you Judas the plan?
Yeah.
I want the phone records.
You know what? I'm with you. I want to know who he talked to. I want to know which Republicans. Did the president call him?
Right.
Right. Did Elon Musk call him? Like who called Schumer and was like, hey, if you don't play ball, bad things are going to happen.
Right.
Or like, is there a deal that we can make further down the road? Like, I don't know what reason he would have to flip-flop in a day.
He should tell us.
He should. He should.
Because the bullshit that he's saying now about how it would be worse is bullshit. Because the courts haven't stopped a damn thing, other than the some of the employment, but not all of it. Like after the first thing, he should have been in jail for like doing. You know what I mean? They're not getting punishment at all. Just some stuff's getting reversed. They're not getting punished for this.
And if he got some sort of like stark warning that like if you shut down the government, that's good for us. We're going to do whatever we want and we'll fire everyone. Then he should say that.
Right.
Said that if we shut down the government, he was going to laugh and fire everybody. And like that's the reason I didn't shut down the government, is because there were specific threats from the president saying that he was going to do A, B, and C if we shut down the government. Because he's already off his fucking rocker. Like he's ignoring the courts, and he's just doing whatever he wants over there in the White House. So if like Schumer was being blackmailed or something, we should know that.
Say it, whistleblow.
If he was being extorted, if the Senate Democrats were being extorted by the President of the United States to shut down the government, someone should have said something.
Yeah, because it's not a it's not a completely fantastical thought, but I think that would break some Republicans. Not all of them, but I think some would be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, Democrats, get those impeachment papers together.
Right.
Because hold on, brother. No, hold on. You can't be calling them up mob style. Hit them up style.
I mean, it's the only, like, there's only a few logical explanations. Either Chuck Schumer actually believes what he's talking about, and he actually thought that a government shutdown would be worse than giving up all the leverage the Democrats have for the rest of the year. Or, like, he was being blackmailed or something. Like, there's not too many other explanations.
Diz in the chat says they threatened to primary him straight from the Oval Office. He's in New York. You know what I mean? So they could go for it, but if it ain't him, it's gonna be AOC. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a whole bunch of red money that you could pour into New York and get the junior senator to be a Republican. I don't see that happening. No, it ain't enough of them.
Yeah, you're not gonna beat Schumer in New York with a Republican. That's just not. You'd have to like primary him with some very like Andrew Cuomo, maybe
like Mark Cuban or something.
Yeah,
like you need somebody who everybody kind of likes as a billionaire, as opposed to Elon.
Yeah, like Bloomberg, maybe. He's got a lot of money. He's lost a few elections. He was mayor of New York City, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, dude, this is when Rudy makes his fucking triumphant return. The king of New York is back, baby.
But the Democrats
mayor. America's mayor, that's what it was.
The Democrats have a real problem now because I don't know if you heard, but Schumer had to postpone his book tour for security concerns.
But it's very important that he has a fucking book tour right now of all times in American history. Please hawk your fucking book. Not like you have a real job.
But this makes Democrats look stupid. It makes the House Democrats look stupid for voting against the CR, only for the Senate to fold on them. And it makes the Senate Democrats who voted against the CR look good, but not that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, they defended what the Democrats were supposed to do, but their leader said, "I'm not going to do that." Like they look kind of like rogues, even though there's like 30 of them.
Right.
And then the 10 Democrats who voted for the CR, I mean, one of them is once again Fetterman. But the rest, I don't know, man. I think it's time to get rid of some Democratic senators. Vote them out of there.
Yeah. And honestly, this probably could have happened in a better time and space. Maybe over the last couple of midterms, we should have been cycling these people out, because look at where we're at now.
Yeah.
You know, maybe AOC should have primaried him last time. Last time it was an option. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe we should have rolled some of these people up out of here earlier. And then there's something to be said about like pruning the hedge and keeping the people in the party on the party lines, because the Republicans fall in line immediately without question. You know, like they don't have a cohesion problem. They figure that they're all the same goop and they just goop it up together. But over here, everybody's Lego blocks, and they only connect with this piece, and I only connect with that piece, and that piece only, I don't want to be around that. Well, that makes it a lot freaking harder.
Yeah. So here's the Democrats who voted for the CR, aside from Schumer.
Okay.
You got Fetterman.
Oh, boo.
Yeah. Catherine Cortez Masto from Nevada.
What?
Brian Schultz of Hawaii. Hey, Mikey, one of your senators voted for this.
I know, Dick Durbin. I put it on Blue Sky. Follow me over at Blue Sky at Mikey Famine or whatever they say. Yeah, he's in trouble because he put out some milquetoast message like, "Look, it would have been 100 times worse if we shut the government down." Yeah, good idea, Grandpa. Shut up and shut the government down. Didn't ask you your opinion. Do what we tell you to do.
The junior senator from New York, Kristen Gillibrand,
figures.
Gary Peters of Michigan.
Mm.
Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire. And Jean Shaheen of New Hampshire, who has announced earlier in the week that she's not seeking another term. So
wow.
She
So
voted however she wanted.
I want to see her phone calls and emails. What'd you get offered?
Yeah. And Senator Angus King, who's technically not a Democrat, he's an independent, but he caucuses with the Democrats. He's from Maine.
Awesome.
And of course, Rand Paul voted against it.
He always does.
Because he never votes for CRs.
Ever. And he never will, damn it. I want a good clean bill.
So those are the 9 Democrats and 1 independent who need to get the fuck out.
Yeah. And again, if you don't feel like you can make this vote or you can do whatever, just leave. Because, you know what I mean? If the whole party is doing something and it is 100% against what you don't like, then you should vote with the party for that thing and then resign. But you should stay within your party. You know, don't scuttle the ship on your way out. Especially when this is the last chance we had.
So, Mikey, you know the video you were showing us earlier with Representative Ivey in it?
Yeah.
Well, it's now on the front page of Newsweek.
Thank you. You heard it here first. This guy doesn't sleep. He eats news.
I looked up the senators and Newsweek came up, and I clicked on it, and then a video of his thing came up. So,
breaking stories every week. This is what we do here. It's normal for us, okay? Breaking records is easy.
We're the real journalists here.
At this point, yeah, dude. Like, I've typing up my own little things and going to different and sourcing all of this stuff, which is rare apparently these days. People don't source shit.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know.
No, we just go to ground news. They do all of the thinking for us.
Oh, I've heard people type into like AI about the news, and then the AI does the thinking for them. I'm
oh
like,
my god!
Oh brother,
who wrote that code?
Look, the Republican Party is a new party. Right, it's controlled. It's controlled by these MAGA right billionaires. They want 2 things. They want to pay no taxes, so get rid of all the spending, even if it's for... I mean, I was up today, you know, we had a Medicare Day of Action, Hakeem and I, and senators and congressmen went and talked about Medicaid. I went up to Montefiore Hospital, which covers all the Bronx. It's the only cancer center in the whole Bronx.
Tons of ice. Like if you eats news and has polar bears for dessert.
80%.
I grew up a block from Montefiore Hospital.
There you
Continue.
go. Well, 80% of the people there are Medicare and Medicaid, and they're the only cancer treatment. If they cut Medicaid by 20%, children would die.
Okay.
Children.
That's exactly what they're about to do.
It doesn't matter what you're talking about there, Schumer. That's what they're doing.
They're about to do it anyway.
So I know about this action day for Medicare and Medicaid that they were doing because I helped put together a press sheet for my congresswoman about it, and I had to do all the background research. And that CR is the first step to them dismantling Medicaid. Like they're cutting things in that CR that aren't directly related to Medicaid, but they will be. They're cutting administration of Medicaid and Social Security. And they're also cutting agriculture spending, which is SNAP benefits.
Right.
So they're already gutting the social safety net in this CR.
And
so
he's voting for it.
Right, and that's what Schumer gave up.
Right.
So now they have to have this Medicaid Day of Action thing and go to rallies and go to press events because they fucked up. And now every Democrat who voted against the CR has to go and explain how Schumer fucked up.
It's like Schumer fell for like a double negative, like reverse psychology thing. He's like, no, I need to not vote for the bill. And he's like, got it wrapped up backwards. And he's like, he is advocating against the thing he just advocated for.
And now every Democrat who voted against that CR, right? Every House Democrat, every Senate Democrat has to be on their back foot and answer questions about why the CR got passed. And I'm sure it's not great for them,
right?
Because they understood what needed to be done and they did it, and now they have to answer questions about why they failed because Schumer backed out.
Would die.
Okay.
And that's what would happen with a shutdown.
Well, I mean,
so you say have leverage. We should. But in this case, the choice given to us, because they couldn't, and I don't blame them.
Not even talking
they
to
wouldn't,
Chris Hayes.
Negotiate.
Ooh. Okay, put a link in if you can.
With the Democrats because they had all the votes.
Or Tim, you want to look at Kay's chat over there and see if you can find something on that while this is playing. I don't want to just pull it up,
Because Trump is such a hammer, gave us only two choices.
So if
there was not a third choice.
Okay, so then the question is, okay, these people won't negotiate. This was the one opportunity for leverage because of the need for a filibuster-proof majority. They're not going to have that on reconciliation, right? They're going to have it, right?
There are going to be other opportunities.
But then
what other opportunities, dog? What are you talking about? There will be no more That was it.
This was it, guys.
That was it.
Unless you can find a wedge issue that some Republicans like and some don't, this is it.
Like, that was literally it. And he's arguing with someone trying to explain to him that was it.
Here, Mikey, I'm putting the news article in the chat about what Kay was talking about.
Okay. Ruh-roh. Let's see. Oh, it's going to be an ad. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, this is live. Oh, imagine if something happened. Oh, dude, when we get terms of service and they nuke our channel. No.
Yeah. Oh, no. Patreon.com/podcast.
Yeah, just in case. Just in case. And also, we do have a free tier. So you can go in there and just check out some of the posts. Probably not everything, because that wouldn't be 100% fair. But in case they do nuke our channel, we'll still have some way of getting a hold of y'all.
Yeah.
So patreon.com/thebinpodcast.
We should do another little Q&A at the end of the episode.
Okay.
So put in your questions now, and we'll answer them on Patreon.
Oh, there we go.
Ask us anything.
Jesus.
AMA. Ask Mikey about his trip to the zoo. Find out what his favorite animal is.
My absolute fave.
All right, welcome back to the Fox 5 Newsroom. I want to get back out to McLean, Langley, Virginia, the CIA headquarters. As a matter of fact, just outside the CIA headquarters.
Dude, that's where the knock list is.
Go ahead and take a live look from the scene right now.
Someone get Ethan Hunt out there.
That's the view from Skyfox right now. We had an incident play out earlier this morning involving.
I couldn't do the Ving Rhames joke. I just couldn't do it. I rolled it over my head like 4 times. I was like, I can't.
Main entranceway to the CIA that prompted a very large response. So we had a lot of.
That white car is not going anywhere, huh?
Nope.
Man.
A police response. We had some fire vehicles that responded as well. We saw some of the special response units, and as you can see there, that's right by the gatehouse there. You can see some of the heavy equipment that came out to respond to this. And again, this. First of all, if you're traveling on 123, you're going to have road closures, especially in that the westbound lanes that are going to be before you get to the CIA entrance and then after you get there. And in some cases, it might be in both directions.
Here on Dolly Madison Boulevard responding to this. I want to read you what Fairfax County Police have just put out. They are saying that this is a barricade incident at CIA headquarters. That is from the Fairfax County Police. They said this as part of a traffic alert. Essentially, the Dolly Madison is shut down in both directions between Georgetown Pike and Seville Lane.
Nice cut through there between basically Tyson's and Arlington. Right there along Dolly Madison.
Well, there you go.
Which, by the way, Dolly Madison is Chainbridge, connects it.
Yeah, what's going on down there?
Man, y'all got some problems. Jeez. Just throw that on top of everything else. Good thing they didn't fire the gate guys, huh? Jesus Christ.
Because what people hear.
Are we winning yet? Are we having so much success under this new president? Like, is this what it feels like to just have like everything under assault?
You're gonna be so tired of winning.
Oh, I think I'm there. I think I'm there already.
Here is like, we're going to lie in the cut until they
No.
self-destruct. Like,
I
what's
don't
the
buy
plan?
that.
Well, but then what is the strategic
Okay,
plan?
here is the plan. Here's what we're doing right now.
Oh my God.
I want to hear this.
Hold on.
There are
Enhance.
two things I want to say. One, every day we are hammering away at Trump. And we have a simple thought that unites the Democratic Party from one end to the other. He's asking the middle class to pay for tax cuts for the billionaires. It unites us all. Bernie Sanders likes it, and my most conservative members like it. We're hammering away at that. Today it was Medicaid. Tomorrow it's going to be, or in the next few days, it's going to be tariffs. He's raising those tariffs, raising your costs, Mr. and Mrs. American, by $2,000 a year if he raises all.
Oh,
Mr. and Mrs. American.
My God. And what exactly do you want the American people to do?
Right.
Vampire Schumer.
I mean, aren't they already Vampire Schumer? Aren't they already doing that? Like, there's daily protests, daily rallies.
Yeah.
People are organizing. Like, what more do you want them to do?
His job.
Right. And I understand that Congress people are out there also doing those rallies, also going to events, also trying to raise awareness. But there needs to be a next step beyond raising awareness. There needs to be an action.
Like raising awareness is our job.
Yeah.
You know, we do this largely for free, or we make sure that our content is free for people to watch, and our patrons help facilitate that. It's our job to be loud. It's his job to be effective and decisive and permanent. You know what I mean? Like that's his gig. He's like, whoa, I'm gonna get on TikTok and make some shorts with dramatic editing. Like that's not helping anybody, dog. We don't need you for that. We got that covered. What are you gonna do with your power that you have completely ceded? But
these tariffs so that he can use that money for tax cuts for the billionaires. He's cutting your education funds, and so your kids don't get a great education, and your school taxes will go up for that. So we have started doing this day in, day out, every day, fighting relentlessly. His numbers have gone started.
Define fighting.
Yeah, like, once again, I get it. They're going out there speaking at rallies. However, what is step number 2?
We're still waiting.
Started to go down from 51 to 47. If we keep at it and keep at it and keep at it, his numbers will be much lower. He will not only be less popular, but less effective. Second, we will find the moments where we shouldn't give them votes.
My God.
Hakeem and I met yesterday. We're exploring that right.
This was one of those moments. That was one of those moments.
This was the last of those moments.
You found it and you squandered it.
He went down watching. Just watch strike 3 go right past him.
And yeah, you can hurt Trump's polling numbers, but your polling numbers are at 27%. He's more popular than you, and he's going to be because you're not doing anything.
Now, and there will be times just like
eventually, as much as he punches me in the face.
Don't point at me, Chuck.
Oh, I actually, dude, that's actually a pretty good fucking. I'll just grab that. Thank you very mucho.
Chuck Schumer wants you.
Yeah, dude, I could totally put a little hat on him.
Oh, that's a meme. We're turning that into.
Oh yeah. All right, we're gonna go viral, baby. How do you
like this instance where people will say, "Don't give them the votes because you have the leverage." There will be instances not like this where a shutdown would ensue, but where we will have the higher ground, and we're going to do it. Watch us.
When?
Okay, but here's what I would say in response to that, and again, I'm channeling people.
Yes. Hey, this is a democracy still.
Hey, what? Still.
For now.
Hey, why don't you have a town hall, Schumer?
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Yeah, get the fucking Madison Square Garden because there's going to be a long line.
Yeah, right.
Open space.
Well, here's what I'm saying is that all of those things you enumerated, which all sound like good politics to me,
yeah,
are the kinds of things that you'd be doing if Mitt Romney were president. That, like, there's this weird asymmetry right now, which is that they are acting in this totally new way.
Yes.
In which they are ambitiously trying to seize all power and create a presidential dictatorship in the United States of America. And the Democratic opposition is acting like, well, if we can get their approval rate down a few points, then what? What happens?
Well, what happens is, look, first, we get it way down. He's going to have much less. This worked in 2017. You say it didn't. Now it's a different government.
It's different.
Oh, it is different. But health care, we beat him. Taxes, we beat him. And guess what we did? Guess what we did, Chris? We took back the House and won in the Senate, and then we were allowed to do all those good things. This is not the only tactic. We have to stand strong.
Yeah, I used to be quarterback back in high school, and man, I tell you, this is like fucking Uncle Rico speak from like Napoleon Dynamite. I bet you I could throw a football over those mountains. Like, who are you trying to convince with this bullshit? Like, malarkey is the best I could call it. This mind dribble that you're forcing us to listen to.
Yeah, he's like, oh, if we hurt Trump's polling numbers, then he'll be forced to. He doesn't give a shit about his polling numbers, Congress's polling numbers, your polling numbers.
He cares about the Democrats' polling numbers so he can just laugh about it and make memes about it. That's the only thing he cares about. He's a fucking 8-year-old.
And if his polling numbers are bad, he'll just blame it on the media. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
That's not a real poll.
That's not a real poll. That's fake news. Softening his polling numbers is, like Chris Hayes said, Chris Hayes is very accurate here.
Small.
That is a tactic that you would use against Mitt Romney or George Bush or some fucking regular conservative, not Donald Trump. Not Elon Musk.
No.
Not the MAGA conservatives. They don't give a shit.
Nope.
You need to like hurt them in a real way, like in a real political way. You can't just go after their polling numbers. You have to like.
Then their donors will stop showing up.
Right.
Aha.
You have to actually have a strategy to work against them, and do things like shutting down the government when they try to shut down the government. That's what they're doing anyway.
In certain instances and not give them the votes at all. But there are instances with this, the two work together.
Okay. Again, I don't disagree with any of that. But the difference to me between 2017 and now, and I've been at this desk for both of them.
It's different.
It is a full-fledged assault on the constitutional order that has not been seen again.
Oh, I just saw the Chiron.
Schumer, this worked in 2017.
I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Hayes did that while on the show with him. He's just like, so your dumb self. Question:
full-fledged assault on the constitutional order that has not been seen again.
Well, that's
certainly in my life.
That is true.
But the question then becomes.
But that's not the spending part.
That isn't. But then the question becomes: what is the role of the minority in resisting that? That's distinct from we're going to beat them on healthcare, we're going to beat them on spending Medicaid.
Look, if our democracy is at risk,
it is at risk.
Sorry, it is certainly at risk.
Well, do you believe it is?
But if
he said if it's at risk,
maybe it might be. Who knows? Who knows?
Tides come in, tides come out.
You don't know. You know how'd the moon get there? You don't know.
It is at risk.
Sorry, it is certainly at risk.
Well, do you believe it is?
But if
I don't want to put words in your mouth. Do you believe it's at risk?
Trump doesn't obey the Supreme Court, which may happen, you led up to it here, then we will have two courts. We will have the federal courts, which hopefully John Roberts will stand up and make it happen. But we'll have the court of public opinion. And if that happens, as you pointed out, we have had rule of law since the Magna Carta, okay? And if that happens, and the rule of
brother, this motherfucker had 91 charges and is sitting up there right now. What are you talking about?
Law goes by the wayside. I believe that there will be very, very there will be.
He don't even know the word. You don't even know what a word for bravery fortitude. Like, he doesn't even know how to. What's the thing that I'm not? Fuck.
Very there will be immediate and strong
Yeah, that's what you're not. Immediate. That is exactly what you are not. Immediate.
The Democrats haven't been immediate since November.
From one end of the country to the
And also, I'd like to know where the $2 billion that Kamala Harris raised. I'd like to know where it went.
other in ways that we have never seen. And that's what will happen. And it's not just up to us. The people will have to rise up. Not just Democrats, not just Republicans, not...
Man, if only there was some legislative step we could take before it was, a guy in the middle of a crosswalk with a tank in front of him. If only there was like one mechanism right before that.
Yeah, he's acting like you can either organize and protest, the way we're doing it now, or form the revolution. And there's no in between.
There's no in between.
You can either be the revolution or lightly protest the president.
You can storm the Bastille.
There's no steps.
Or
just, people, everybody.
You can have the guillotines in the streets or
fight the aliens.
Right.
Our democracy will be at stake then. And if the people make their voices heard and are strong and stand up and we join them, I believe...
No. See, that's where you fucked up. You're not joining shit, brother. If we have to do this manually by hand, your ass is not going to be fucking involved. And don't you put that look on your face like you really want to be involved, because you can't be involved. You're done, dude. Like, this is over.
Yeah, if we got to, do this ourselves...
Why the fuck would we drag your corpse around with us?
Right. You wouldn't be the leader of the revolution there, bro.
I'll be the Obi-Wan Kenobi. No.
If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Turn his ass into batteries like the Matrix. There you go.
Beat that back. We can beat that back. But it's on that one. If democracy is at risk, that's a little different than what we're talking about now. Even a shutdown, as horrible as it is, we'll all have to stand up and fight back in every way.
I think actually this is useful because I do think just in a genuine sort of good faith way, that there's a lot of people, and I think I probably count myself among them, who...
Okay, in the chat says people are literally getting carted off in unmarked vans for protesting the genocide that he just published a book defending. But we're not at a crisis yet.
Hey, he keeps saying if our democracy is at stake. I mean, does he know what's going on up in the Oval Office?
No, clearly not. Clearly not.
So I got a little bit of news for you, Mikey. The wife sent this to me. It's not a video, but I'll read it out to you real quick.
Stryker.
Yes. Trump's goal is to have no taxes for anyone who makes under $150,000. In a new policy, he spoke with the CBS News. He says he wants to eliminate all taxes for anyone making $150,000 a year. Now, why would Trump want to do that?
To lure the stupid people. That's a terrible, financially, that would bankrupt every single government program. And
right.
And simultaneously just starve the people.
Now, if everyone who works in America and receives a paycheck remembers, not only do you pay income tax on your payroll, you also pay Social Security tax.
Yep.
And Medicare tax. Trump would eliminate those taxes.
Yep.
Which means Social Security would go bankrupt. Yep. Because the people making under $150,000 a year are the people who pay the most of their income into Medicare, because there's a cap. There's a cap. I forget where it is exactly. Yeah, 176. I don't know why he just didn't say 176. But
right.
That's the majority of money that goes into Social Security and Medicare is people who make that amount of money. If that money doesn't exist anymore, no more Social Security or Medicare.
Well, they'll have to go into the private sector, Tim.
Right, they'll have to privatize it or something else. So, like, these are the schemes that I assume Project 2025 came up with.
Yep,
because they've always wanted to eliminate the income tax and the Social Security tax and the Medicare tax because they don't want those programs to exist. They don't want the government to be funded through income tax because it costs them too much money.
Well, this is the only way that they can get to that magic 4.3 trillion.
Right. They want to, the plan is, and it's being worked out in real time here, eliminate the income tax and use tariffs to pay for things instead, which is in no way is going to work. There's no way they can raise the amount of money in tariffs that they do in income tax. So they're cutting government stuff because they know, and they're raising the debt ceiling because they know they cannot afford to not do those things and keep their tax cuts. So we talked about this, I don't know, at least a year ago.
Yep.
About the Republican congressman who was like, we'll get rid of income tax and do a VAT tax instead. And we'll get rid of the IRS and have just like an institute for sales tax or whatever it was.
Yeah.
This is
External Revenue Service.
Yeah. This is an alternate version of that plan. Like, it's happening in real time. Trump's going to float out there, oh, we should just get rid of taxes for anyone who makes under $150,000. Just off the top of his head.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
You know what I was thinking the other day? Randomly, without anybody's consent.
Just thinking. He just blurts it out he blurted out in an interview, oh, we should get rid of taxes for anyone who makes under $150,000. That's not part of any greater plan at all.
No. And, I mean, Sam Cedar does a pretty good job of this. You guys should check out the Majority Report if you have any questions or concerns about Social Security. It single-handedly keeps the majority of our elderly population fed, warm, safe, so they can retire with dignity.
And the same goes for Medicare and Medicaid. When I was putting together the fact sheet for my congresswoman, I put in there 40% of all children in this country rely on Medicaid. 60% of all seniors in the citizen rely on Medicaid for making up what Social Security doesn't cover. Yeah. So if you're looking at almost half of all children and more than half of anyone over 65, they're going to be affected by the cuts to Medicaid and Medicare. Like, that's a problem.
It's going to be dire.
You're gonna double child poverty, and you're gonna put all the senior citizens back into poverty.
Right. And for all of the people who could like afford to put their aging parent in a home, and like it's a nice home without some of those people rely on that Medicare money and their Social Security money. So when your dad is the only client, that place is getting shut down because they're not going to have enough revenue to have the staff and pay the rent for the building. They're just going to, well, why don't you just take them home then?
Yeah. And in that fact sheet, I put that 2/3 of all nursing home costs come from Medicaid.
Yeah. They need that money.
They need it so that they can have somewhere to live and have someone help them live.
Right. So instead of increasing that funding, which it desperately, desperately needed,
right,
they're just going to get rid of it.
Who think that that's where we are right now? Well, that the plan being deployed right now.
You may be right. I don't think so. We're there. I think
we're not there yet.
Well, I think we're getting there, and we have to be really vigilant. I just had a meeting today with the Judiciary Committee to decide how we're working through this as it goes further. It hasn't been up to the Supreme Court yet, which would be the classic if they disobey the Supreme Court. We're on our way there, God forbid, but I think we are, and we'll have to go at it and at it and at it. And that is different than anything else. Different than anything else. It's a quantum leap different because our democracy is then 248 years of American democracy. The Magna Carta is out the window, and we will all have to take extraordinary action.
What a fucking idiot.
Well, the Magna Carta.
Yeah, he was there when it was written.
Right? God.
Oh, I was like, what the hell is that green thing? The Skype had slid its way into the frame. Sorry. So
I hate when it does that. It just like pops up and it's like, hey.
Howdy, partner. Let's check the chat. Yeah, fucking feudalism, my lord. Yeah, exactly. This is somewhat what Andrew Yang's insidious plan was going to be. UBI, but funded via regressive VAT tax. Then under the radar, gut every single other type of social safety net.
Yeah.
This is what CAPSA has always been and has always been evolving and escalating toward. Yeah, it's just growing. It's like Venom. The Spider-Man character.
I'll put out in anyone in the chat again, if you want to ask us questions for the Q&A later, we're going to put it on Patreon. So ask us and we'll answer any question.
So let's talk about rights.
Rights.
The rights to party. No.
You got to fight.
This Tren de Aragua bullshit. This is where we're at now. And it's strange to hear so many people, especially people of color, just march right along with the gulag song that is what's going on right now. And the fact that people are being deported, not to their country of origin, but to a random, just a random facility that could help them. That could help take in the numbers. I'm not sure if it's okay ever to deport people to a country that they are not from. That seems problematic. If anything, you should put them back towards the port of entry or however they got in and be like, you need to go. No. From here, figure out what you're about to do. But to say I can just box you up and send you wherever I feel like it,
right,
is kind of bananas to me. And Crystal and Sagar from Breaking Points, everyone's saying this was like a mommy and daddy are fighting kind of moment, but I know Sagar is probably like the right wing guy, and he's supposed to have like these conservative takes, but here you go, man.
Level of cruelty to migrants that you would not justify.
No, this is what I'm saying. Deportation is not cruelty.
That's not just deportation. Understand. They're imprisoned in a torture chamber.
Okay, well, it's a prison in El Salvador.
Is there any level of cruelty you would not justify?
Would I justify like chaining them up and hanging them from their? No,
they were sent to be tortured.
No, so they weren't. They were sent for being imprisoned.
They were sent to a prison known for torture.
The government of El Salvador has agreed, apparently, like on some fee basis, to house these people. While they're there, it is now.
Yeah, Trump's going to pay them top dollar to take his quote unquote worst of the worst.
The problem with the Venezuelan government. And by the way, actually, if this does go to the U.S. Supreme Court and they uphold what you're saying, you know what I'll say? Okay, bring them back. Go ahead. Let's do it. Strike it down. You can bring them back to the United States.
So you have no moral compass outside of what the Supreme Court tells you is okay?
Well, look, again, this is why I think this level of, like, frankly, like, moral hypocrisy
Where would the line be?
Ludicrous.
What would be too far?
Okay, so let me ask you.
Tons of mice in the chat said, question, I'm from Sweden now. Can you box me up and send me there?
We're going to have to answer that later.
Yeah.
Many illegals have to murder. What's the correct number that is justifiable in the crystal ball universe for the number of illegals to enter the United States? How many murders is that okay to balance with increasing economic GDP?
You're
and
aware.
So is he going to go meet up with Conor McGregor, or are they going to drive together?
Good callback, Mikey. Good callback.
Right.
That
is it 1?
Undocumented
15,
and documented
25,
immigrants have a lower
30?
crime rate than the native born population.
So they should actually be here instead.
So stop smearing them all.
And like his rebuttals to everything she's saying, which is pretty fact. Like if he cared about the issue, I mean, enough to do a primary search on it, he would see that the numbers are not on his side. It is very obvious to everyone that people who are trying to hide from the authorities don't run around committing tons of crimes.
Right.
It's just not a good plan in the long run.
I'm not smearing
Like
them all,
they're
but
criminals
if there shouldn't
because
be
they're
here,
not.
then the number should be 0, correct? I think the
No.
justifiable number is 0,
I
is the
think
number
we
of
need
illegal murders.
we need to actually have an immigration system where I would let more people in, yes, than is legally allowed now. But yes, I would have borders. I would want to know who's coming in. I would want to make sure that criminals weren't coming in.
Well, none of that
But
applied
because
now, and I didn't see any of this level of histrionics
but
that was
Sagar,
happening while 200
And he keeps saying that as a reference to like hysteria, and she's being hysterical. That's kind of a slur, dog.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's kind of misogynistic, dog. You need to probably like get out of the fucking the lobster man tank that you've been fucking swimming in.
people are being sent to be tortured by our government.
But they're entering.
That's something that doesn't upset you?
But they're entering the country illegally. So now they get to be tortured. So let me say this. If there's a tourist over here from like the UK or Canada and they say, "You know what? Trump, I don't like what you're doing." Oh, phew, that's a crime against the God King. So they can just send that person to the Taliban?
Right.
Like, what the fuck? And to have him defend this.
I've taken a few phone calls about this topic on Monday, and one lady was like, the president should be allowed to use his war powers from whatever that War Powers Act is.
Yeah.
To fight against Mexico and Canada and China, because technically we're at war with those countries, Mikey.
Oh, are we?
You want to know why?
Yeah. Why is that?
Because they're using chemical warfare on us by sending over all the fentanyl. And we gotta deport all those people,
dude,
because we're at war, and they should be either expelled from the country or put into prison camps.
So let me get this straight. Because some white kids OD'd, now we need to go to trade wars with all, like, how much more can we excuse? Like I understand, like, people have addictions and substance abuse issues are hard, and they're a mental health and a general health crisis. But I mean, for like, where's the right wing accountability for your actions and just say no and all that shit? No. But when it happens to my community, I want the whole fucking country to fucking tariff this whole, like, are we kidding right now? Like now you care about people who have substance issues? You just spit on them normally.
Yeah.
But now I'm supposed to believe that you're these righteous advocates for these people who are hooked on things that are way too strong for them, or that kill them outright, or that are laced in shit and just drop people like a bit. Like, so what are you actually legislating? You know what I mean? Like, why are people in a position where fentanyl is the best thing that they can do with their life and the best thing that they can do with the last $25 they had? Right. How about you address the actual issues if you're so gung-ho about shit? But this is just a convenient issue, a convenient distraction to be racist.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck about those kids who are ODing. Our generation knew those kids. Those were our friends. Just like the school shootings. Those were our friends.
Yeah.
Last one. And just like the people, the first wave and the surge that you sent over to Iraq and Afghanistan, those were our friends.
Yeah. I have more than a few friends who served in Afghanistan and Iraq. What was I going to say? Oh, I do not believe politicians, any politician, Democrat, Republican, whoever, it doesn't matter. I don't believe politicians when they say that they're going to fix the drug problems in this country. I didn't believe them when they were talking about opiates. I don't believe them when they're talking about fentanyl, and you couldn't believe them when they were talking about crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to bother fixing the fundamental root issues with abuse. And they also don't want to do the hard work of setting up treatment and rehabilitation.
Yeah. Actually putting some money into it so that people get real substantive help. They won't do it.
They would rather put them in jail,
right,
than give them treatment options, than to set up rehabilitation, and that's indicative of our entire criminal justice system.
Yep.
They would rather put people in jail than rehabilitate them. It's easier to put people in jail than rehabilitate them. And that's why we have the largest prison population per capita in the world.
Right. I mean,
Because
we're 4% of the Earth's population, and we have 25% of all the prisoners.
Something like that,
More
yeah.
than Russia, more than China, more than North Korea. Like, we do the most jailing of people.
So, and I mean, this is the same thing with this deportation issue. We would rather send them to a country that they don't live in, never lived in, don't belong to.
Yeah.
To a camp or a prison somewhere, than to actually deal with the problem. When was the last time America decided to actually deal with the problem of immigration in this country?
Never.
To Central and South America for so many years. The economic destruction we did to those countries, the CIA involvement in those countries, is a country that does not deal with its legacy and its problems. We just sweep it under the rug. Hopefully it'll get better later.
Right. Kick the can.
Kick the can down the road. I mean, hey, going back to what we were talking about earlier, that's what Congress is doing with this continuing resolution.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time we had regular order in a budget.
Right.
Obama, maybe.
And again,
Congress hasn't had regular order in a budget in so long that you can't even remember what the process was like.
And then
Sorry.
no, you're good. You're glitching a little bit again.
Okay.
And again, they don't care about treating people. They're just using this as a bludgeon for brown folk. You know, they're just using this as an excuse to attack brown people. And I don't want to hear the bullshit about things coming over the border, because you never gave a shit about things coming over the border until it started affecting certain communities. So you still don't care about guns going over our southern border, empowering the cartels. Nothing about that. But it's about to heat up over here.
How does that not upset you?
I don't think that they're quote unquote being tortured. I think they're in a prison. Now, second, again, I think that there are tens of millions of people who criminally entered our country, circumvented our laws. We have no idea.
Elon Musk, go on.
In the similar way that you're talking about here, who are either committing crimes. Let's say it's less than the native-born population. Nobody knows if that's actually true or not. But even if it is, why is that acceptable number not zero?
You think that
what is the appropriate policy?
You think that justifies sending people to be tortured in a foreign prison
You
cell
keep saying
and
that.
disappeared?
There's no evidence. In the similar way, there's no evidence that that's true at all.
You think that justifies our government claiming claiming the power to disappear people into a foreign prison cell?
I will tell you this. I think that considering the circumstances of the election and the genuine insanity of the status quo that we're in, that me, along with many people who saw what Trump was running on, agreed with this idea put forward that every power of the United States government should be brought to bear to deport people who entered this country illegally. I think that has both been affirmed at the ballot box and is within this U.S. law.
You are good with.
Like, he keeps going to the same old bumper stickers, and she's not going to let him squirm away from this question. Shout out to you, Crystal.
Random people, we don't know who they are. They get no due process. Being smeared as gang members, we don't know. And being disappeared into a foreign prison that is known for torture and slave labor.
I mean, again, I'm just going to say, like, so you're okay with people who are coming,
but this is a whataboutism,
but it actually is.
Answer the
unironically,
question.
No, so you're okay
hold on.
with
This
people
is your,
coming
hold on.
to America
So this is your contention.
who are, it could be pedophiles.
Because he knows that it's wrong.
Their color scheme is wrong. She should be wearing the blue, and he should be
Is
wearing
that bothering
the
you?
red. A little bit. I was like, oh, okay, so they're dressed like their alignment, but they're not. They're opposite.
We have
murderers,
because we had
rapists,
people come
and we have
here,
no idea who they are.
Because we had people come
but that
here
was
illegally.
Okay.
We need fascism.
Because we also
That's
need,
your argument.
We also need some dishwashers, and somebody needs to build our houses.
Because people
so
came
that's why
here
people should be deported
without
8 times to
authorization.
come here.
We should have fascism.
This is not fat. This is ridiculous. This is the.
Where is the? What would be too cruel? What would be where you would say, you know what, this is wrong. You know what, there should be due process. You know what, these are I don't think that they should be.
Perfect example.
I don't think they should be in this country, but I do think that they deserve to not be tortured.
Is the perfect example. Somebody who is here, screened by our government. Not only do we know who he was, somebody who had.
What the hell?
What the?
Oh. It's the
We have organizing from the school.
Hold on.
Our educators on the ground, absolutely support your teachers, y'all.
Okay, they went to a new story, I think.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, why are they doing a rally at the CIA headquarters? That
I was like, wait a
that's
minute.
probably not allowed.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was still playing. Because I heard a mic turn on, and I was like, the fuck? I was like looking around. It must have been them kicking the stream back on. That was funny. My bad.
That was funny.
Well, I wanted to show that on screen to prove to my brain that I am not losing it quite yet. But I just have to confirm my reality sometimes. That's all.
Has due process rights as a legal permanent resident who was arrested and is being deported for a BS free speech reason. Perfect. There you go. I think we're going to talk about a case soon on some H-1B thing. I think the government acted outrageously on that one. On this one, this is what people really don't seem to get is when you sit there and you just justify, again, how many people are okay to just be able to come in? We're supposed to take their word for what it is. Oh, I'm fleeing violence, and you apparently get to stay here for 25 years. A citizenship.
Okay. I'll let him go one more second, and then I'm done listening to his ass.
And a job. It's a complete bullshit circumvention of any notion of sovereignty.
Your contention is that justifies claiming wartime powers to disappear random people.
I think, I like how the phrasing is here. I will interpret yours in similarly bad faith, which is that you think it is okay for criminal illegals, pedophile, rapists, murderers, all of who have been proven to have crossed the border illegally, and under the very asylum status quo that you defend,
I am fine.
that it's okay for them to be able to come here to commit and to murder, to rape our citizens and our children.
I think they should be deported.
But we
don't know who these people are. We don't know who these people are, and this administration has already been caught lying about who these people are. They've already been caught. There is zero reason to believe them. In the entire country, there are probably 300 gang members of the type that we're talking about.
Amnesty International says that?
I'm telling you, there are multiple estimates from independent groups who track gang violence across Latin America. Their best estimate is that there are a few hundred members of this gang. So your faith that they got them all in this one roundup, I guess we can, mission accomplished, it's all done.
Oh, I didn't say it was
And then they brazenly defy a court order and brag about it and celebrate it. Like, I truly don't understand how that can be justified. Like, I get you're upset about the number of people who came here. We have a difference of opinion about that. That's fine. But in response to that, we think it's okay to just send a group of people to be disappeared and tortured. How is that acceptable?
Okay. Stephen. I'll say this, and then I'll get out of the way, Tim.
Okay.
It is crazy to look at the crisis at the border and its effect on people, because it has affected some communities more than others. But for them to then say, even without due process, which is, if he would listen to her for 30 seconds, he'd understand. We have not confirmed the identity of any of these people. There's no record. There's no public court record of who that is and what's going on with them. And to just claim that we're now at a war because I decided to name the cartels as terrorist groups, and now I'm in a war with the terrorist groups. So now anybody can just be scooped up and disappeared without due process? Anybody? That's the problem. Ain't nobody trying to defend bad people. But bro, the way to save us is not to just take all of the guardrails off and anybody can be black-sided at any time.
Right.
And the fact that he can't understand that that's what this is. Like, they didn't get due process. They didn't have a lawyer there. Even if they would said, yeah, it was me, I did it, da 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 da. Okay, it's a quick case. And if they want to fight it, you get to fight it. And that's what I was making the reference earlier. Like, so if a tourist comes here and says something that Trump makes fun of Trump's golf swing, it is not a thing here to then just ship that motherfucker to the Taliban and say, Taliban, do what you want with them.
Right.
That has never been okay. And I don't understand how anyone can justify what just happened with the planes and them defying that order. I don't understand how anyone can justify that.
It's the dehumanization of people, right? It's, what he was talking about. Oh, they're pedophiles or whatever, and they're killers, and the same thing that Trump has been saying since he came down that stupid elevator.
Yep.
Is that they're sending us their worst, and they're sending drugs over, and everyone's a terrorist who comes over, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of stuff has been Republican rhetoric for, boy, I don't know, since Reagan, before Reagan. Like, it, and they never want to do anything about it except for increase border security and deport people.
Right.
Because once again, those are the most expedient things that you can do. There's no willingness to actually fix the immigration system, which is very broken.
700 judges, and they have a case backlog of 3.6 million cases.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while. That's why people have been here for decades waiting on their damn immigration trial, because there ain't nobody working over there.
It takes a long time to become a citizen if you do come over here legally.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want a path to citizenship. They just want to round people up and deport them. And at this point, they don't care where, apparently, or how, or why. So they are dehumanizing people who are potentially fleeing countries for various reasons. Either they're under threat, their countries are not economically secure, their governments are corrupt, whatever. And I don't know if you heard, but that registration app for asylum that the Biden administration put out, they turned into a self-deportation app.
Wow.
So they are doing literally everything they can to be as inefficient as possible. Because I don't know if you heard this as well. In the month of February, Trump deported less people than Biden did in his first month in office.
Right.
So they're not being efficient about it either. They're going about this the wrong way, just entirely. I mean, we've talked about what they've done with the ICE raids and all that in like Chicago and other cities where
Colorado, Boston.
They've not had the success that they've wanted because people are smarter than they think they are. And they're not finding the people they want because a lot of the times those people don't exist in that way.
Right.
And all they're doing is creating an us versus them mentality, which has been under the surface for 30 years or whatever.
Yep.
But now it's okay to be racist. Now it's okay to say we don't want, like, I get phone calls all the time from the Congresswoman's office of people in Connecticut who say those things.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't you see those people as human? Why can't you be compassionate? Maybe they're going through something. And then I get phone calls from people who are seeking visas and immigration statuses saying, how can I get this to be faster? I don't feel safe.
Right.
I feel threatened. And I need my visa. I need to renew my passport. I need this, I need that, because I don't feel safe. I need to make sure that I do have my papers in case someone asks for them in Connecticut.
In 2025.
Like, in 2025. in case ICE shows up at my house, because ICE was in New Haven a couple of weeks ago. We got an alert from our chief of staff saying that ICE was in New Haven. Prepare for phone calls.
Mm.
And luckily, they didn't do anything. They were just there for funsies, I guess.
There to get told no.
They were there for the pizza. But, you know, what if something did happen? What if they did go through New Haven and started looking for people? You know, how can anyone feel safe when the government is out to, like she said, disappear people? Even if you do have a visa, you say something. If you say something that the president doesn't like, or do an action the president doesn't like, he can just have the Secretary of State say, "Oh, we're revoking your visa."
You know who does that?
Fascist.
Iran, China, Russia, North Korea. These oppressive, brutal regimes that they always want to treat as the boogeyman when they want to get into office, and then immediately start emulating the behavior.
And America does not have a good human rights record.
Right.
We don't. We deny genocides.
Yep.
We don't treat, you know, we have a history of concentration camps.
Yep.
The same order that the president is trying to use now to deport people is the same order that was used to form the Japanese prison camps.
Yeah, the internment camps, World War II.
In World War II. And then after that, we were like, that was terrible. We shouldn't have done that.
You know, they paid reparations after that too.
Man, if only the government paid reparations.
Man, if only they weren't so fucking selective about the reparations payouts.
But like, America doesn't have a good record about this. We're always like, oh, we shouldn't have done that after the fact, but we still do it, and we're doing it again. And I'm sure, once again, history is either going to be whitewashed for us completely, and the rest of the world will be like, oh man, America fucked up real bad. Or we'll have to apologize to entire groups of people again. So we're so sorry that we treated your people so terribly because we're monsters. Because we let our government be controlled by fascists. And Elon Musk, who's a Nazi.
And even if you're right wing and you want a strong border, grabbing people without due process, you have no guarantee that the people that they put on that plane are the people that they tell you that they are. Where's the transparency? If they're so bad, why didn't you perp walk him like you did Luigi? Each one of them. Why can't we know their name and what they did?
Right.
Why you shave their heads so we can't tell? So you know what I mean? So it's harder for people to put together who's who. Why you send them down to the worst jail in probably Latin America?
And I know this guy has the same arguments that a lot of people have, is that they're illegal immigrants. Therefore, whatever we do to them doesn't matter.
That's crazy.
Because they came here illegally, so we can do whatever. Which is absolutely insane. I know that the Republicans and the MAGA folk don't want illegal immigrants in this country because they're not white. Right. If it was coming from the northern border, let's say that Canada was immigrating en masse into America and we were full of Canadians for some reason, there is no way that the U.S. government, well, I mean, maybe Trump's government, but previous governments would treat them the way that they're treating the people on the southern border who come through on the southern border. It's just not something that we would do because they're white. And they're considered, you know, of a higher class by Republicans.
Not like those filthy dirt. No. It's
Ollie says that would never happen.
Yeah. I was like, I think Ollie's still floating around. I'll see what he says. And and to not and for him to just like intentionally obfuscate the point and continually just, instead of answering a question, which is very straightforward, and it kind of, if you have any sort of like respect for the Constitution or laws in general, you can, there's only kind of one way to really look at the situation. If you want to look at it, you know, legally. Like that should be the end of this. Legally, you can't do that. Legally. Well, I don't know. The American people said that. Who the fuck cares what they voted for? They can't vote to put everybody back into chains. It doesn't work like that. People have immutable, inalienable rights granted to them by the Constitution. And guess what? A lot of that shit is extended to visitors. That's why we don't jail people for protests if they're not from here. Or for speech that is contrary to something that we would like. Or if they dress a certain way. Or if they have a certain color of skin. You can't just lock people up for arbitrary reasons because these people voted for a racist. If that's the case, then lock yourself up, you brown idiot. Like, what makes you think you're safe from any of this? Right. No one is safe from this. This means anyone can be scooped up at any time. And he says, well, they shouldn't have came over here. It's like, shut up and listen to what we're telling you. You don't know any information about those people that were taken away. And that's the point. You should. The fact that none of us know is the problem. There was no due process. Sorry, I cut you off.
It's okay. I was going to say that to the MAGA folk, immigration at all is bad. Like, I know he was talking about H-1B visas is fine or whatever and all that stuff. But that's the same trap that fucking Elon and Vivek ran into when they were like, we need the H-1B people because they're smart and we need them to run our companies.
The kidney doctor.
Right.
That they deported.
But when Elon and Vivek said that, X, the Nazi app, said, fuck you guys, we don't want immigration at all. Yeah. Not even your H-1Bs. And even that fucking lady on that debate show with Sam Cedar, the one who was like, what's wrong with Christian nationalism?
I heard she's Canadian. I see that they found some clips. She's a Canadian.
What? Ali, she's one of yours?
Yeah, she's a Canadian masquerading as this like trad wife American girl.
Oh my God.
She's cosplaying us.
Even she was like, we don't need the H-1B guys. We don't want immigration because it'll ruin our culture and all that stuff. Like, that's the kind of messaging they're putting out there. Right. And that's the kind of messaging that he's going to run into when he starts speaking to people who aren't educated like she is.
Right.
Like, they don't care about what immigrants are coming into this country. They just want them all gone if they're not white.
And it's going to be leopards, faces, etc.
Yeah. So
insane.
Yeah,
if you guys want to check out the video, the whole video is 55 minutes. And she is way more gracious than I am, because I mean, I could have got to the nitty and gritty with a couple of sharp comments, and then we could have, skipped the back 45 minutes of the debate, because it is unbelievable. Like, at this point, she could have called him into immigration and say, heard he's been talking to terrorists. Cool. We don't like him either. Up into the black van, off to Venezuela you go. El Salvador you go. Off you go.
Right. Yeah.
And that's it. No one can and he doesn't want anyone to be able to, hey, I have an objection to what you're doing there. Let's slow down. Let's see what the facts of the case are. But he doesn't want that. Or he's comfortable with it happening to other people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't understand, like, the lack of compassion that the extreme right has for just other people in general.
It's not even on top of the lack of compassion. It's the illegality of it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it totally violates the fucking Constitution, but they haven't read it.
And it's not like the administration cares about that.
Right.
A judge ordered them to turn the planes around.
Right.
And they said, they're already in the air.
Oopsie.
Whoopsie. And the judge was like, even if they're in the fucking air, and even if those planes have landed, get those people back.
Right.
Because what you're doing is illegal. And they're like, whatever, who cares?
Yeah, Tom Homan. I don't have to listen to a judge.
So they're not even listening to the judges who are saying what you're doing is unconstitutional.
I think the judges should start locking up people from different departments. Because that's a violation of a state law, I'm sure, to remove people without due process. There's got to be something on the books. Lock them up. Start locking up people out of Trump's thing and make him start focusing his attention on getting his people out of jail. Because like the Doge kids, lock them up. That's trespassing.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't need the DOJ for that. Put him in jail.
I understand the president is exempt from anything he ever does ever.
Correct.
But everyone who's not the president can be thrown in jail.
Yeah. They're already going to cut all the funding to all of your cities and states anyway.
Yeah.
You might as well grab the ones you can for bargaining chips so you can get your funding turned back on.
I would start with Stephen Miller. That guy should be the first one in jail.
Yep.
He's the one that's doing all this behind the scenes anyway.
Let him jaywalk. Oh, you're going to jail, buddy. You're going to jail for at least a year. That's dangerous. You could have killed somebody. That's attempted murder. Yeah, keep them in there for a while. Put them in jail.
Yeah.
They want to play the put everybody in jail game.
I mean, the Trump administration is starting to say that, we're not going to listen to judges. They're all activists or whatever. All these judges ruling against us.
Yeah.
I would start holding people in contempt of court.
That's what I'm saying.
And throwing them in jail.
If you don't want to listen to what I got to say, you can sit in here until let's see. Here, this is from Dave. This is from the 14th. Canadian woman detained by ICE being used as example, immigration experts warn. Immigration experts are warning Canadians to make sure they have the correct forms and documentation if they want to cross the border into the United States. This comes after a Canadian woman who was detained by U.S. border officials earlier this month. Jasmine Mooney, originally from Vancouver, tried to enter U.S. from Mexico at the San Diego border last Monday. I was reapplying for my work, and with no warning about what was about to happen, I was taken by ICE, Mooney said to the San Diego affiliate down there. A reporter from the detention center where she's being held. ICE stands for, Mooney was applying for a what's a TN visa? Temporary non-resident?
Probably, yeah.
Visa, which is a non-immigrant visa. I got it. That allows Canadian and Mexican citizens to work in the United States in specific professional occupations. So she's doing what she's supposed to do. She's the founder of a water health drinking brand. Told ABC News San Diego that ICE agents told her she was unprofessional because she did not have a proper letterhead. Really, y'all? Really? Mooney moved to LA in summer 2024, working on her business with a 3-year work visa, which she applied for successfully by entering the U.S. from Mexico. She was trying to do the same thing after her first visa was unexpectedly revoked in November. Mooney's mother said her daughter was held for 3 nights at the border before being transferred while handcuffed and in chains to a detention center in San Diego and later moved to a facility in Arizona.
Oh my God. Like, they're not, like I said, they're doing this like the stupidest way possible. They're not even checking people. They're not even doing it the correct way. They're not making sure that these people are like have visas or are citizens or, they live here already and they have the document. Like, they're just rounding people up and like that. And like that lady said, just vanishing them.
We were up for 24 hours wrapped in chains, Mooney said.
Like, that's wild.
And she's supposed to be there, and she's just getting her paperwork redone.
That's the kind of black bag shit that QAnon people were complaining that the Democrats were doing.
Exactly that.
Just like rounding up, they're rounding up Antifa or whatever. Like, no, man. You're the ones doing it on people who have nothing wrong with them. They have the documentation. You're just like, nope, we're gonna send you to a detention center.
Just not gonna read it. You know, and that's the importance of due process, is to make sure that that people don't fall through the cracks and mistakes don't happen. They don't care.
Yeah,
they're all for the mistakes to happen.
Yeah, we're gonna put you in jail now, and we'll ask questions later, sort of thing.
Yep. And I mean, I hope Sagar keeps all of his fucking documents on him.
Yeah.
Like, it's not there when the rule of law is relative. No one is safe.
Yeah. I mean, when the government's just like willy-nilly picking and choosing, that no one is safe, citizen or not. I mean, Trump said that the news should be illegal, like MSNBC and CNN and all that. They should be illegal.
Right.
Like, are they going to start locking up journalists?
No, only China and Russia do that. Oh, wait, those are our allies now. I'm thinking in the old world.
I don't know, man. It's not great.
Yeah. And for Sagar to be this informed on so many issues, to sit there with his brown skin and act like that's what they get. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They've already been using this to black bag and disappear people for protesting the genocide against Palestine. Yeah. And just like homeboy Ivy said, they're like, hey, will you stop taking money from AIPAC? And he's like, nope.
Right.
Immediately, nope. I sure will not stop taking it. I absolutely will keep taking it. Well, good luck trying to get us all to capitulate to that.
Yeah.
Keep the planes gassed up, because there's a lot of us that ain't going where you think we're going.
And I've seen some, like, I don't know, I've seen some reels about, like, when the ICE was in Boston, and Boston was like, come and try and fucking take them. Like, Boston, of all places, was like, we don't care, you can't have them.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to let you take people off our streets.
Because this is exactly what would happen to them. They're not being deported in the normal deportation process, because a lot of those people were going to get deported anyway. As soon as they went through their asylum case and said, hey, you know what? Sorry, you do not qualify. You need to come in on a regular way. We can't do no accelerated whatever. And our current policy is you have to go back you can't wait it out here. And that's how Biden got all those deportations. That's why. That's how. And 4,000 for 700 judges to get through in a year. Yeah, that's what happened. Or if they do like just a simple background check and they got felonies and all that shit, or they're wanted. Yeah. The process was being worked through at its tip-top speed, given the resources. If you want it done quicker, add more resources.
Right.
But to just say anybody who Tom Homan doesn't like can just be grabbed up for any reason, and they don't have to be transparent to us, is fucking fascist.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm glad this is recorded. I'm glad we got you on tape, guy, saying just those words. Because if and when it gets really bad, I want you to keep that same fucking energy. And we'll see how the bourgeoisie puts you up underneath their little wing and protect you. We'll see. Because when the racists go marching, you're going to look just like us, dude. That's why your boy Vivek is gone.
Yeah. He got kicked out.
All right. Tim's getting sleepy and I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
Let's say we end this whole thing.
Yeah. So last call for questions for the Q&A. I wrote down a couple. I got some from Billy and I got some from Tons. If anyone else wants to ask a question, we'll answer anything. It doesn't have to be like about what we're talking about. You can ask Mikey about like what his favorite food is.
Poll, yes. I almost brought that up on the show, but I didn't think we'd have time. I knew I was going to go long on this part, but Yes, I did see that. They in Serbia they had a big old protest and they launched like a sonic weapon at them. Like, and you can see the audience just like audience.
Oh yes, I've heard about the sonic weapon.
And and I think the thing is like it doesn't show up on a lot of footage. I think it kind of blows it out. Let me see, Serbia.
Ooh, if you want to know the answer to what Mikey's having for lunch, patreon.com/The Bin Podcast.
Here you go. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not coming up in the footage, like you can't hear anything, but you can see them all like part the Red Sea. You know, and they were all like standing on top of each other, and then suddenly just like a whole line of people just dove out of the way and were complaining about pain in their ears. Let me go back. That over the head view. Yeah. See if they got a better one. Some of the other footage. But it's apparent that people are getting the hell out of the way of something. Come on. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it says here sound cannons can emit up to 160 decibels. The sound roughly equivalent to standing next to a rocket launch and can be very painful. Yeah. There you go. Another great day in paradise here.
Yeah.
Here on Earth.
God. All right. Well, join us tomorrow for another show.
Yes. I have good news.
What's the good news?
Remember that great song, Made That Deal with the Devil?
Yeah.
I gotta check our email, but I reached out to him and I said we would love to have you on to chat about your inspiration for writing the song.
Oh my God.
And to shill it, so he might come on and have a chat with us.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, go to like the button, hit the button, subscribe.
Like that button. Button.
If you're in the chat, you've already subscribed. But if you're not in the chat and you want to be in the chat, subscribe. Even though we're ending the show, do it for tomorrow.
Do it for tomorrow.
Do it for tomorrow.
All right.
Yes. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow for this show, and then Unboxed.
Word. Holler.
I love Tesla.
Oh, where's the music?
Uh-oh.
But I want the music.
We need the music.
It's my favorite part. Did I do something wrong?
No.
I'll get it back.
No. So sad.
Yeah, it's not going. Why won't it go? I'm stubborn. I'll sit here and I will make it work. God damn it. Why does everything betray me? Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
There we go.
Bad Streamlabs.